Chapter 920. Thank you, we will live happily ever after. Xiangyi smiled. Do you have anything else to say? Xu Xia felt that she was being unreasonable. Why? Why didn't they care if their family didn't wish them well? Although I don't think it's appropriate to talk about your elders like this. I think you're really contradictory. You don't treat Shi Sui as your son, but you ask Shi Sui to treat you as his mother. You don't respect Shi Sui at all, but you ask Shi Sui to respect you. Since you hate him so much, why do you still ask him to care about you? Xiangyi's words hit the nail on the head and hit Xu Xia right on the head. The color drained from her face in an instant, as if her deepest secret had been exposed. The netizens suddenly understood. No wonder, they felt that something was wrong with Xu Xia. So that was why. Sister Yi was right. Since she never treated Shi Sui as her son, why did she act like a mother now? Who was she trying to disgust? Whether you wish him well or not, I thank you. Thank you for giving Shi Sui life. Thank you for bringing him into this world, but please, stop torturing him. He has never done anything wrong. Xu Xia only found it funny. I'm torturing him. Then do you know how I feel every time I see his annoying face on TV or on my phone? Why does he keep appearing in front of me? I want him to disappear. Disappear forever. Not only were the Xiang family angry, but the netizens were also furious, especially Shi Sui's sister. Why did his biological mother treat him like this when he was as bright and unreachable as a star? Xu Xia still wanted to say something, but Xiangyi made a prompt decision and hung up on her, blacklisting her. After doing all this smoothly, Xiangyi looked at Shi Sui in embarrassment. Did I act on my own accord? After all, she's your mother. No, I should be the one thanking you, Xiangyi, for helping me do something that I couldn't make up my mind to do. Shi Sui rubbed her little head and said, I'm sorry to have affected everyone's mood. Madame Xiang pretended to be angry. What are you talking about? We're all family, so don't treat me like an outsider in the future. Xiang Yin's tone was fierce, but his words were heartwarming. The next time she contacts you, give me your phone. I'll stand up for you. Shi Sui's thin lips moved slightly and her long eyelashes drooped. He didn't know how to respond to this kind of pure concern from his family. Because, he had never gotten it. The Shi family was not close to each other. Out of courtesy, he had informed his grandparents about his engagement with Xiangyi, but they were unwilling to show up and only sent some gifts from the butler. As for Xu Xia, he didn't mention it at all, so he didn't know where she heard the news from. Buzz buzz, Xiangyi's phone vibrated. She checked it and was stunned. Shi Sui, Uncle Shi, sent me an email. It's a video. Shi Sui said, go ahead. I'm fine. Xiangyi pursed her lips and clicked play. The image shook and it took a few seconds for it to stabilize. What entered everyone's eyes was a thin and pale face, but it did not lose the elegance of a scholar. Hello, Tutu, I'm Uncle Shi. When Shi Yuan smiled, his eyes resembled Shi Sui even more. I'm rarely sober now, and maybe even less in the future. So, I'm afraid that if I don't say some things now, I won't have the chance to say them again. Chapter 921. In fact, Xiangyi didn't have much of an impression of Shi Yuan. She only vaguely remembered that every time she went to his house during the Lunar New Year, he would smile gently and give out candy to each child. He would also give her an extra set and remind her to keep it in her pocket. Shi Yuan cleared his throat, seemingly wanting to continue, but he stopped himself with a helpless expression. I'm really getting old. He sighed and continued, I'll just say whatever comes to mind then. Tutu, don't mind me. I heard that you and Shi Sui are getting engaged. I'm very happy, really. Shi Sui. I've let him down. I didn't fulfill my responsibility as a father. I haven't been in a good mental state all these years. When he needed help the most, I couldn't support him. Instead, he has to take care of me in addition to his career at such a young age. Shi Yuan's narration was very gentle, and there was no trace of paranoia in his tone. I'm very worried that my failed marriage with his mother will affect his view of love. Fortunately, he met you. You're a good child. In the future, I'll leave him in your care. In addition, I have some antiques and artworks in my collection that have all been transferred to your name. Tutu, it's just a small token of my appreciation. Shi Yuan seemed to be a little apologetic. This is all that I can give you, and him. The video came to an abrupt end. Xiangyi's eyelashes fluttered and she subconsciously looked at Shi Sui. Shi Sui was leaning back in his chair with a calm expression, but Xiangyi could sense that his emotions had fluctuated. Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang looked at each other and sighed. The match made in heaven back then had become an ill-fated relationship that had been entangled for many years. For a moment, they didn't know who was the one who had planted the karma. In the live stream, many people in the comments section were tearing up. I don't know why, but I just feel like crying. Humans are indeed complicated creatures. Daddy sure isn't a good husband, but I feel like he's still a good father. Maybe it would have been better if Daddy sure and Mommy sure hadn't met. There are indeed many things in this world that can't be judged by absolute black and white, right and wrong. However, there were also netizens who keenly caught the main point. Everyone, you may cry, but don't forget the keyword that Daddy sure and Mommy sure mentioned, engagement. Have some knowledge, my friends. Netizens, huh? The netizens, wow. After the proposal, he immediately got engaged. What kind of godly speed was this? Shirindi and Sister E are getting engaged. F***CK, zoom in and look at the layout of the living room. There are details everywhere. Can I get a membership? Hurry up and play the engagement ceremony. When will the wedding ceremony be arranged? Don't stop me, I want to charge money. The comment section was filled with screams, and the number of online viewers kept increasing. Ever since overseas netizens learned that Two Under One Roof was streamed live every day, the number of online viewers doubled. Especially when they found out that today was the last episode, the traffic exploded. Since the start of the live stream in the morning, the number of viewers had exceeded 50 million. And it was still growing, 60 million, 70 million, 80 million. All over the world, countless people were watching this live broadcast. Xiang Yin said, "We're all family, there's no need to stick to those complicated formalities. Let's just go through the simple process." Madame Xiang held Shi Sui's hand and said with an amiable smile, "Like I said, Shi Sui is my grandson. I'll represent your family, okay?" Chapter 922. Under everyone's gazes, Xiang Yin said, "We're all family, so there's no need to stick to those complicated formalities. Let's just go through the simple process. I'm here to hold today's engagement ceremony on behalf of Tutu's family." Madame Xiang held Shi Sui's hand and said with an amiable smile, "I just said that Shi Sui is my grandson, so I'll represent your family, okay?" Shi Sui was stunned for a moment, but she then said in a hoarse voice, "Okay." Shi Sui's sister burst into tears when she saw this scene. Sob, "Old Mrs. Xiang is so nice. What a gentle grandma, I'm reminded of my grandmother in heaven too. Thank God for letting Shi Sui meet his luck after experiencing so many misfortunes." Xiang Yin said solemnly, "From today onwards, you two are fiancé-to-be. Marriage is not child's play, and your relationship needs to be managed by both of you. As your elders, we can only accompany you on this journey of life. In the future, the two of you will have to work hand in hand." Madame Xiang also said, "I've always felt that there's no such thing as love. When two people get together, they have to dote on and support each other. Some people have never met true love in their entire lives. The two of you are very lucky to have met each other and have chosen each other firmly. I hope that in the future, you can both remember the feelings you have for each other today. You want to be loyal, determined, and sincere to each other for the rest of your lives. Xiangyi's eyes reddened and she nodded vigorously. Shusui's gaze was deep and sincere. Xiangyi, I'll only have you for the rest of my life. There would never be anyone else other than her again. Even the demon king Sangqin and the scheming king Xiangli were slightly moved by such a touching scene. Xiangqi and Xiangyu were both easily moved to tears. Just as they were about to burst into tears, they heard sounds that ruined the atmosphere. The sounds could only be described as ghostly wails and unbearable to the ears. It could be said that a fierce man was shedding tears, and a brave warrior was crying bitterly. Xiang Feng's face was covered in tears, and he was completely immersed in the scene. He even leaned on Sangqin's shoulder, his tears and snot smeared all over. Sangqin was speechless. Little uncle, do you want to die? It's such a touching scene, yet you still want to bully me. Xiang Feng complained. Little Chen Chen, can you be more humane? Sangqin, he closed his eyes and suppressed the urge to beat his uncle up. It was a joyous occasion, so she had to make sure that it was auspicious. Xiangyu, Xiangqi, and Xiangli presented the gifts they had prepared beforehand. They were all couple necklaces, couple outfits, and small ornaments. Even Xiangqin pulled out a card from his pocket expressionlessly and pushed it in front of Shui. He said awkwardly, "Don't worry. What Tutu has, you should have too." Shui couldn't help laughing. Then, thank you, big brother. Hearing the man's rippling tone, Sangqin's face darkened slightly. So what if you've become my brother-in-law? You're still asking for a beating. At the same time, in the live broadcast room, viewers from all over the world were connected through the two links of the internet and the live broadcast. Countless people sent their blessings to him. He, untimely is real. Hey, Shui and Yi-chan must be happy. May God bless your love forever. I've been waiting for this day for so long. Every day, it's like watching a sweet idol drama. I hope that Shui and Sister Yi's idol drama will last forever. Shui, Sister Yi, happy engagement. Chapter 923. At this moment, countless netizens were trying their best to convey their feelings. Since Shui didn't receive their mother's blessing, they wanted to try their best to give her a blessing. It was as if that could make up for Shui's regrets. Shui and Xiangyi interlocked their fingers and looked at each other with smiles. There was a question and answer on the internet that received a lot of likes. The question was, what would happen when you meet the person you like? Hundreds of thousands of netizens liked the answer, as soon as I see her, a smile will appear on my ugly face. The netizens thought that Shui and Xiangyi were probably the best expressions of love. The engagement ceremony has come to an end. Xiang Yin cleared his throat and said awkwardly, "Eldest grandson." Shui answered in a warm voice, "Yes, Grandpa." Xiang Yin humphed arrogantly and said, "If anyone dares to bully our Tutu in the future, I'll—" He paused and seemed to have aged a few years in an instant. His hand that was holding the walking stick trembled slightly. "Don't bully her. Our beloved bunny, how can we let her suffer? We agreed to let her be with you because we want her to be happy, not to let her experience the slightest bit of sadness." Shui straightened her back and said in a sincere tone, "I will love her more than anything in this world, including his own life." Xiang Yin choked with sobs, but he deliberately turned his face away and pretended that nothing had happened. However, he was still very upset. In the end, he couldn't help but lean on Madame Xiang's shoulder and burst into tears. "My little bunny," Madame Xiang was a little helpless. She coaxed softly, "Be good, Tutu is just getting engaged to Xiang Yin. Don't cry, don't cry." Xiang Feng and the brothers of the Xiang family almost dropped their jaws in shock. Xiang Yin, who could scold 10 Xiang Fengs and beat 10 Xiang Fengs to tears with a single swing of his cane, was actually crying. Xiang Feng, a person's name, was occasionally used as a unit of measurement in the Xiang family. Usage: Sangxin's combat power is equivalent to 20 Xiang Fangs, Xiang Li's IQ can crush 30 Xiang Fangs, and so on. As soon as Xiang Yin cried, the audience in front of the screen also began to tear up. In order to lighten the atmosphere and celebrate the successful engagement of Shi Sui and Xiangyi, Li Jianyu and the others played the bouquet. Colorful ribbons filled the sky. Congratulations! Shi Sui Sister Yi, forever and ever. Happy engagement. Get married soon. Ha ha ha. Some people in the live stream also started making jokes. Shi Sui belongs to Sister Yi. I unilaterally announced that lawyer Xiang is mine. Xiang Li, hubby, when are we getting married? The child is already 5 years old and can call him daddy. Only children make choices. As an adult, I have all the choices. I don't mind having 4 more husbands, dog head, Shi Sui is my husband and Sister Yi is my wife. Thank you, everyone, for coming to my husband and my wife's engagement ceremony. The netizens were already happy enough about the engagement of Shi Sui and Xiangyi, but they didn't expect that there would be an even bigger surprise later, Li Jianyu announced. Because today is the last episode, our production team and Sister Yi have discussed it and decided that 10 netizens will be answering questions online today. Of course, you can also think of it as Shi Sui's Sister Yi chatting with everyone. After you draw the number, there will be an audience member who will first check if your internet and devices are working properly. Next, we'll start drawing the number. The netizens were flabbergasted. Damn it. Little broken piece respy. Chapter 924. There were indeed live streamers who interacted with their fans through microphones, but who would have thought that they would want to interact with a celebrity? It was unimaginable. But today, it would all become a reality. On the screen, a lottery program was activated. Then, 10 lucky people won the lottery, and a special staff member contacted them to confirm. After a few minutes, Li Jianyu received the news and shouted through the loudspeaker, "Okay, the first audience member is ready." Xiangyi and Shi Sui raised their heads in unison. The call was connected. A girl's scream spread throughout the live stream. "Oh, is it me? Is it really me? Shi Sui, Sister Yi, can you guys hear me? I'm your untimely CP fan. In the live stream, it's a girl who's a genius. Are you there? Remove the surveillance cameras in my house immediately. Ha 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 ha, although I didn't get picked, I'm more nervous than this girl." Xiangyi waved at the camera and said, "Hello." Shi Sui also nodded slightly and said, "Hello." Hence, the screams in the live stream became even louder, as if they were calling out an army of thousands. Fortunately, the first audience member gradually calmed down. She cleared her throat and said embarrassedly, "I didn't expect to be picked for today's interaction. Actually, I don't have much to ask, I just wanted to give my blessings to Shi Sui and Sister Yi. Get married soon and have 2 children in 3 years. We've already thought of a lot of baby names, you guys can take a look when you have time." Ahem, okay, I'll hang up now. Buzz, the first call ended very quickly. The live stream instantly exploded. "Sister, well done. She's so awesome, she's speaking the minds of so many people. Ha 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 ha, CP fans are really worried sick. They haven't even gotten married yet, but they've already thought of names." The tip of Xiangyi's ears turned red, and Shi Sui raised her hand to pinch it gently, only to have the girl's ears turn even redder. Ahem. Thank you. This was the first time Xiangyi was embarrassed during a live broadcast. The Xiang brothers all looked at Shi Sui in unison, as if they were going to have a group battle if Shui dared to say she was going to have a baby. Their family's tutu was still a child. Shui smiled and said, "Thank you for your blessings, but these things, let nature take its course. Whether it is marriage or children, I will listen to Sister Yi." In other words, if Xiangyi wanted to get married, she could get married, and if she wanted to have children, she could have children, and vice versa. Only then did the expressions of the Xiang brothers improve. Soon, the second audience member was successful. "Hello, Shuringdi and Sister Yi. I am an extra working at the film studio. I'm what everyone calls a walk-on." The second audience member was a little nervous. I'd like to ask Shuringdi, how do you hone your acting skills?" Shui crossed his arms and leaned back in his chair, relaxed and languid. I don't think I've honed my acting skills much. I just watched a few movies and suddenly knew how to act." Audience. In the live stream, this. Although it's very Versailles, Shuringdi is telling the truth. You guys can go watch his debut movie. His acting skills are amazing, I'm just kidding. I actually read some professional books and analyze movies. Shui was not stingy with sharing his experience. Although I've only watched a few movies, I've carefully watched each one dozens of times. For example, I must pay attention to the details. Chapter 925. Shui's voice was as gentle as jade, and she shared a lot of her insights on acting. There were even many things that the students couldn't learn even if they wanted to. For example, the handling of details, the sense of rhythm, empathy. In short, the netizens only had one thought after listening. Success was due to chance, but there was also a sense of inevitability in that chance. Who would be able to watch the same movie over and over again? Who would be able to read an acting book so many times that they would be able to memorize every single chapter? Shui's grand slam was due to her talent and hard work. The audience member was flattered and thanked him profusely. "Thank you, Shui. I've taken good notes. I'll go back and think about it carefully. I'll strive to improve my acting skills and become an actor with solo scenes. Shui, good luck. I'm looking forward to the day when I can act with you." This high EQ answer was praised by countless people. Boo-hoo, Shui is so gentle. To be honest, this answer will definitely encourage her. I'm so envious that she's being taught and encouraged by someone she admires. To be honest, there are many so-called acting masters in the industry who charge hundreds of thousands for a lesson. I heard that they often attack and humiliate students. In comparison, Shui is so kind. Immediately after, the third, fourth, eighth, and ninth audience members all chimed in one after another. Someone asked Xiangyi for the recipe, and Xiangyi naturally taught them everything she knew. She even promised to record a complete production video and post it on Weibo. This way, all the fans who wanted to try this dish would have a standard to refer to. The audience was overjoyed and finally shyly asked Sister Yi if she could make a heart sign with her. Xiangyi imitated Ruan Qing's heart gesture. She put her hands behind her back, stretched out both hands, and made 2 hearts at the same time. Her smile was full of vitality and vitality. The netizens exclaimed, "This is the feeling of first love. Mom, it's not the wind that moves, it's my heart that moves." There were also people who asked Shui how to study science and even asked several high school math questions on the spot. Li Jianyu broke out in a cold sweat. Although Shui was the top scorer in science back then, after all, so many years had passed. Who could guarantee that she would still remember those trivial knowledge points? In any case, Li Jianyu might not even be able to solve an elementary school question. Shui's sister even mocked herself, "I'm sorry. If Shui can't solve it, please forgive him. After all, I, Shui, am uneducated, and uneducated." He didn't expect that Shui could solve every single one of them. She even remembered the formulas clearly. The audience was stunned. Brother Shui, you're amazing. I think if you take the college entrance examination, you might even get the manner, Shui said lightly. It's nothing. I just have a good memory. The netizens were in tears. You call this a little better? More like 100 million points. With online interaction, the netizens' enthusiasm skyrocketed. Whether it was the number of online viewers or the number of real-time comments, they all broke records. 91 million. 92 million. 93 million. Almost every minute, the numbers were constantly jumping, making people's hearts surge with excitement. The last audience. Li Jianyu had just finished his announcement when the staff's voice suddenly came from his earpiece. He stopped the broadcast at the last minute. Sorry, please wait a moment. We have an important announcement to make. Chapter 926. Everyone was puzzled, be it at the venue or in the live stream. What's going on? The camera panned to Li Jianyu's face, which was solemn and serious. Many viewers' hearts skipped a beat, for fear that something unexpected would happen. In the next second, Li Jianyu beamed with joy and began acting like a screaming chicken. The number of online viewers of our little break has just reached, yes, just now. It's over 100 million. The staff at the venue froze for 2 seconds before bursting into cheers. This day has finally come. It's over 100 million. Xiangyi and Shui also looked at each other and smiled. Everyone has been working hard all this time. Thank you, everyone, for accompanying us to this day. Every achievement is a precious gift to two under one roof. The girl's voice was like the sound of nature, and even the gods had to submit to her gentleness. The live stream viewers were appalled. Sister E is so eloquent. Good girl, I won't read your books in the bookstore. Woo, now that Xiang Yi said that, I suddenly feel a great sense of participation. Fellow live streamers, please learn from Sister E. Don't treat your fans like tools or ATMs every day. In fact, as long as you put your heart into it, your fans will definitely take the initiative to pay for it. In short, we can give it to you, but you can't take the initiative to ask for it. Major media outlets quickly reported the news that the number of viewers of Two Under One Roof had exceeded 100 million. Two Under One Roof, a small variety show, a big miracle. The live stream industry is reshuffled again, and content output is trending towards premium quality, the ceiling of domestic live stream variety shows. Leading the new trend of the entertainment industry in the future. At the same time, Little Break was once again trending. #Little Break, #the number of live stream viewers has exceeded 100 million. The only one who can defeat me is myself. More and more netizens poured into the live stream to watch the last live stream. After the celebration, Li Jianyu was so excited that he wanted to go to heaven. However, he pretended to be calm on the surface and continued with the queue process. Staff, please connect the microphone to the last viewer. The call went through. A gentle and kind voice sounded. Tutu, it's your mother. Xiangyi was stunned on the spot. The faces of the Xiang brothers also changed. It would not be an exaggeration to say that the live stream. Mother. Sister Yi's mother. Didn't Sister Yi's parents pass away? Could Xiangyi be lying? Black chicken and Spanish fish, are you trying to use your parents' death to gain everyone's sympathy? The orphan in front, do you know that some people bring happiness wherever they go, and some people only bring happiness when they're gone? Smile, damn you, crawl. It's a joyous occasion, don't come out and disgust people. No, listen carefully, this voice doesn't sound very clear. It's like it's being recorded from some equipment. Xiangyi felt her mind go blank. In a trance, she remembered the last scene she saw of her parents. The car that had gone out of control, the pursuit from the front and back, and the bumpy ride from the spinning world, as well as her mother's warm, blood-stained hand that was blocking her eyes. Our tutu is the most obedient. Close your eyes and don't look at anything, okay? Xiangyi's voice was hoarse from crying, but she obediently kept her eyes closed. She was also seriously injured and didn't even know when she lost consciousness. Even the voice of the microphone was switched to a cold and rigid mechanical voice. Hey, silly girl. Ahem, Miss Xiang, I was asked by someone to fulfill your wish. Chapter 927. Although the voice was disguised, Xiang Yi still recognized the identity in an instant. That chubby little white tiger. The mechanical voice continued, I, am a hacker who happened to get a recording pen. After repairing it, I found that there was a recording in it. Today, I found out that the owner of the recording pen was your mother. So, I hacked the security wall of Xingchen TV today and came over to play it for you. At this moment, in the programming department of Xingchen TV, the programmers were overwhelmed and at a loss for what to do. What kind of virus is this? It actually caused all their computers to crash. Even the most powerful experts couldn't even crack the most basic code of the virus. It was like the dimensionality reduction mentioned in science fiction novels. The virus seemed to have come from an alien and was far beyond the current technology. At this moment, the content of the recording pen was played in the live stream. Tutu, it's mommy. Just by listening to the voice, one could imagine a gentle and intellectual face. Daddy is asleep. Maybe he has already gone to heaven. Mommy may be going too. Accompanied by Xiang Yi's mother's voice, the sound of blood dripping onto the ground was heart-wrenching. The sobbing of a woman lasted for several minutes. In the live stream, many people had already burst into tears when they heard this. Sengchen and the others also had complicated expressions. A moment later, Xiang Yi's mother adjusted her emotions and spoke in a brisk tone as if she was telling a story. Tutu, I don't know if you can hear it. If you can, tell your brothers, okay? Chen is the child that I don't have to worry about the most. I know that he always deliberately puts on a cold face, but he's actually very soft inside. When Tutu was sick when she was a child, he would cry secretly every time his heart ached for her. Lily is very smart and has an extraordinary IQ. I'm so proud of him. However, I found that he's quite scheming. He'll trick you and Feng Feng into giving him toffeecito. I really can't do anything about him. Shoo, this is a secret. Chi-Chi is mommy's sweetheart. I really like the dress he designed for mommy so much that I wish I could wear it 24/7 every day. I often think of the image of him braiding your hair. Yu is usually a man of few words. He is very stubborn and has his own ideas. I believe that when he grows up, he will firmly choose the things he likes and work hard for them. Well, he likes furry things very much. If he's too embarrassed to buy it, then please ask our Tutu to give it to him, okay? Xiang Yi's mother sounded like she was about to cry. Chen and Lily can already take care of themselves. Chi-Chi and Yu have been carefree since they were young. The one I'm most worried about is our Tutu. Our little rabbit is so obedient, so fond of crying, so timid. She is a child who is even afraid of thunder and firecrackers. What should we do? Daddy and Mommy won't be able to accompany Tutu anymore. Mommy really feels sorry for our Tutu. In reality, Xiang Yu lowered his cap, and when the camera swept past, the young esports god's eyes were red. Xiang Qi sniffled, but in the end, he couldn't hold back his tears. However, he quickly wiped them away with his hand. Xiang Li pursed his thin lips and remained silent for a moment. He then took off his glasses, lowered his long eyelashes, and closed his eyes. Sengchen was as expressionless as ever, but his trembling hands, which were hanging by the side of his pants, revealed his emotions. Chapter 928. Xiangyi had been very calm throughout, or rather, she forced herself to be calm. When she woke up after the car accident back then, she heard from the doctor that her father had already lost his vital signs when she fainted. However, her mother's time of death was later than her father's. Hence, the doctor speculated that Xiang Yi's mother was still alive when she fainted. Xiang Yi resented herself countless times for not being stronger and more clear-headed. That way, she could at least say goodbye to her mother. She didn't seem to have told anyone about this matter before. How did little white tiger know about it? Tutu, you can cry, he said in a low and gentle voice as he pressed her head into his warm embrace. Xiang Yi initially thought that she could control her emotions well, but to her surprise, she burst into tears while in Shui's arms. The girl's hot tears fell onto Shui's lapel. She was crying silently, and only her slender shoulders kept shaking. Shui gently patted her back and coaxed her softly. In the live stream, I can't take it anymore. I held back when Xiang Yi's mother cried, but when Sister Yi cried, I started crying too. Oh my god, Tutu's mother is so gentle. If only Mrs. Tutu was still alive, she would definitely dote on Tutu. Sob sob sob, are those auntie's last words? Was Sister Yi by her side at that time? How sad must Sister Yi be then? The audience's hearts wrenched up. In the beginning, the netizens were criticizing Xiang Yi, but now, they were all feeling heartache for her. The pop-up comments were all comforting Xiang Yi, but some were also curious about who the hacker was. On the top of a mountain. Little White Tiger looked at the screens in the air and sobbed while watching. Damn it, I hate watching such plots the most. However, it would occasionally feel a little emotional about the joys and sorrows of others. However, for some reason, whenever Xiang Yi cried, it would feel extremely upset, as if its heart was about to break. The little white tiger angrily took out a carrot and took a few bites before it felt better. Yes, that hateful rabbit spirit was right. When one was sad, eating carrots would make them happy. It turned off a screen that showed the scene before Xiang Yi's mother's death. I've completed my promise to Lord Shui. This stupid woman is just a little better looking, a little gentler, a little better at cooking, and a little more skilled. There's nothing good about her. She's a far cry from the rabbit spirit. The rabbit spirit is a great beauty. The little white tiger suddenly paused. It suddenly realized that it only had the rabbit spirit's memories in its mind, but it did not have the rabbit spirit's face. Perhaps Madame Shui had erased it. Although he looked gentle on the surface, he was actually very petty. In the past, no male creatures were allowed to approach the rabbit spirit. Don't think that I don't know that Lady Shui wants to have a nest of Tutu babies with the rabbit spirit. How can the current Lady Shui fall in love with another woman, in particular, when it thought about how Lady Shui actually gave up the opportunity to become a god and used her only wish to fulfill this stupid woman's regret? The little white tiger was furious. At that time, it asked Shui, do you have any wishes that you want to fulfill? Shui said, my wish is to fulfill her wish. It even repeatedly asked, Lady Shui, are you sure? Are you really, really sure? The man's expression was gentle and affectionate. Yes, because, she's my little rabbit. Chapter 929. The recording came to an abrupt end. The hacker also ended the call without anyone noticing. The programmers of Xingchen TV tried to trace the hacker's IP address, but the result was a blank. The programmers were dumbfounded. No way, did we really encounter an alien? At the same time, Shui cupped Xiang Yi's little face in her hands and patiently wiped away her tears. Xiang Yi had never cried so hard before. Although she didn't make a sound, she was shedding a lot of tears. Tutu. Shui coaxed in a gentle voice, Uncle, Auntie, I've never blamed you, so Tutu, don't blame yourself anymore, okay? Xiang Yi nodded as her tears fell. Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang looked at each other. The Seong family had naturally found the culprit of the car accident back then and made the culprit and his family pay a terrible price. However, they didn't know that Xiangyi actually had such a knot in her heart. Little Bunny must have been suffering all these years. In the live stream, the focus of the audience gradually began to deviate. Although Sister E really makes me understand what it means to cry like a fairy. Xiang Yi, don't cry, Mama will love you like her own daughter in the future. I'm posting this on behalf of my mother. My mother said, Sister E, you may have lost your mother, but you can treat Auntie as your mother. I'll also send a message on behalf of my grandparents. May, my grandparents said that you don't have to be sad. When you visit our house, my grandparents will definitely treat you like their own granddaughter and dote on you. There were also many netizens who expressed their goodwill. She looked at Li Jianyu, who was crying like a fool. It turns out that Sister E is liked by so many people. That's great. About 5 minutes later, Xiang Yi calmed down and looked at the camera gently. Her voice was a little nasal. She said with a nasal voice, it's time to say goodbye to everyone. The netizens were flabbergasted. Ah, no. Can't bear to part with the gentle E of the human world, can't bear to part with the long Jing T of the human world. Ahem, sway, I can't stop crying today. Will there be a second season? He would, right? For such a popular variety show, they had to get the original cast to do a second season. I'm begging you. 2 letters of blood. 3 letters of blood. Li Jianyu was crying uncontrollably. It was Ruan Qing who continued the cue. Lastly, Shui and Sister E, do you have anything you want to say to the audience? I'll go first. Shui was wearing a clean white shirt, just like when the audience first saw him in Two Under One Roof. He looked gentle and elegant. First of all, I would like to thank all the staff of the program team. Doing a live variety show requires not only courage, but also stamina. Everyone has worked hard these days. Secondly, I would like to share my upcoming schedule with everyone. Your outdated male celebrities will be joining the cast for filming. Shui's self-mockery made countless people laugh. I feel like Shui has changed a lot too. Being in love really affects a person. Thank you, everyone, for your constant support. Without you guys, Shui wouldn't be who she is today, and there wouldn't be this small drama. The man said helplessly, lastly, I have a question to ask. I heard that all my fans have become my haters? Chapter 930. The Shui sisters replied one after another. Are you there? Did you just get online? Ha! You have fans. Oh, I've read it. Move back a little, don't block our view of Sister E. The netizens were dumbfounded. A fan is better than 10 haters. Not only is Shui invincible in the art of tea brewing, but he also has more haters than anyone else. Of course, teasing aside, the Shui sisters couldn't help but burst into laughter within a few seconds. Join the crew, join the crew. That man is finally going to act. As long as you watch Shui's works, we'll be relatives from different mothers. I'm looking forward to Shui's new works. The 3 Best Actor Awards in the country have already achieved the Grand Slam, and the 5 Best Actor Awards overseas have already won 4 awards. He's just short of an Oscar to complete the Grand Slam overseas. The Shui sisters were overjoyed, as if they were celebrating the Lunar New Year. They also allowed the netizens and investors to once again witness Shui's popularity. Shui had both real capabilities and popularity. He was good at acting, good at the box office, and good at winning awards. The cameraman turned the camera to Xiangyi. It's my turn now. Xiangyi waved at the screen. Can you guys see me? In order to take care of some of the older audience members, the girl deliberately raised her voice a little to show her thoughtfulness. The audience was especially cooperative. Baby, I can see you, I can see you. Kid, your grandma is praising you for your loud voice. Ha ha ha. Yet another day of being awed by Sister Yi's cuteness. Xiangyi cleared her throat and said, "Hey, it feels like we were still filming the first episode yesterday, but today, we're suddenly filming the last episode." The staff of the Two Under One Roof, you've all worked hard for the past 2 months. Thank you to all the viewers. Thank you for every click, comment, like, and share. You're the ones who made small breakthroughs happen, breaking records time and time again, and creating miracles one after another. My life probably won't change much. I'll go back to filming next, and when I'm done, I'll probably continue my current life of cooking, gardening, and petting the cat. My family is still the most important thing to me. Xiangyi's gaze swept past her grandparents, uncle, and brother before finally landing on Shui. She smiled and held his hand graciously. "And my lover." The girl's voice was soft and sweet, and her smile seemed to be able to cure all the gloominess in the world. The couple fans covered their mouths and screamed. "My lover. She's my lover. Sisters. Give me a guide to flirting with men. I'm Sko. Hashtag 2 or 3 things about how my wife got together with my husband that have to be said. Hashtag, with everyone's support and love, I will work hard, resolutely, and bravely live my life well. I will also cherish every kind person that appears in my life. I hope that everyone who is watching the live broadcast will live a free and determined life from now on. I hope that you will be gentle to the world and be gentle to the world. Goodbye, see you next time." Xiangyi gestured half a heart while Shui raised his eyebrows and cooperatively gestured the other half. The two bade farewell to the audience, who also bade them farewell in the comments section. "See you next time. I must see you. I'm looking forward to the second season. Sponsor Daddy, vote for me. I'll watch all the advertisements. Shui, Sister Yi, goodbye. Xiao Naofu, Little Shiji, goodbye. Brother Damao, Brother Ermao, Brother Sanmao, Sameo Gu, goodbye. He Gemin Zong Zong Xiang Fong Fong, goodbye. Small breakthroughs, goodbye." On this day, Two Under One Roof, which had set countless records in the history of variety shows, came to a perfect end. Chapter 931. When the screen of the live stream went black, the scene was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. They could almost hear the breathing of the people around them. It's over. Everyone knew that such a day would come, but when the moment finally arrived, it made them feel inexplicably lost. Ruan Qing nudged Li Jianyu with her elbow and said in a low voice, "Say something." "Ha." Li Jianyu sobbed and a snot bubble came out of his nose. Me. Honey, why don't you do it?" Ruan Qing was speechless. "How did I find such a boyfriend? Can I get a refund? Don't forget, you're the director of Two Under One Roof." The word director was like a stabilizing needle, calming Li Jianyu's emotions. He froze for a moment, wiped his face with a tissue, picked up the loudspeaker, and said, "Thank you for all the hard work you've put in these days. It's all of you who turned a creative idea into a reality. It's all of you who turned a delusion into a miracle. The honor of Little Break doesn't belong to me, Li Jianyu, but to everyone in the Two Under One Roof production team." Because of his words, the silent scene became hot-blooded and lively again. Little Break will always be amazing. Our Little Break is the best. Breaking the 100 million record belongs to Two Under One Roof. Smiles that came from the bottom of their hearts appeared on the faces of those who were young or no longer young. What an honor. To be able to participate in such a grand event in my life. When I retire one day, I can proudly talk about the glory of my career. Li Jianyu continued, "I have to thank Shui the most. When I was at my lowest, she chose to support me without hesitation. Although I've always jokingly called you Daddy, sure, but I know that you treat me as a friend. Brother, let's have a drink later. Li Jianyu's eyes were red and he was about to cry again. In order to dilute his sadness, Shui pondered for a moment and said, "Have you never thought that my feelings for you are purely that of a father and son?" Li Jianyu was speechless. Li Jianyu held back his tears. "I treat you as a brother, and you treat me as a son. Let's talk about our own." Shui activated her tea-talk skill. "Well, if you want to think that way, I can't help it." Li Jianyu. The audience roared with laughter, and the atmosphere was joyous. Li Jianyu couldn't help but laugh. "Also, the person I want to thank the most is you, Sister Yi." Li Jianyu looked at Xiangyi and said, "You're the one who created the legend of Two Under One Roof. You're the one who constructed the soul of Two Under One Roof. You're the one who made Two Under One Roof such a popular show that audiences all over the country and the world love. It's great to meet Sister Yi." Li Jianyu's sigh was not pretentious at all. It was so sincere that it moved people. Xiangyi smiled. "I'm very lucky to have met you guys." Li Jianyu was not the kind of person who liked to talk nonsense. After a few simple words, he ordered, "Then everyone, pack up and prepare to go to the celebration party." The staff left first. The Xiang family members were not interested in the celebratory banquet, so they all left separately. Only Xiangyi and Shui were left in the huge manor. The little girl sat down on the steps in front of the door, looked at the sunset on the horizon, and stretched lazily. "It hasn't been that long, but I feel like I've experienced a lot." Shui sat down next to her. Xiangyi asked, "Actually, I'm quite curious, why did you agree to take on this variety show?" Chapter 932. Shui said lazily, "It's nothing. I'll do it if I want to. But logically speaking, Mr. C probably won't accept this variety show for you. From a personal point of view, you can totally find other ways to help Li Jianyu." Xiangyi rested her chin on her hand and was a little distressed. "It's so strange. I keep feeling that participating in a variety show isn't something you would do." Shui chuckled and didn't say anything. There wasn't any special reason. It was just, he wanted to have a chance to be together with a certain little bunny openly. Even if it was a small and uncertain opportunity, it would be good. Shui wouldn't tell anyone that if Xiangyi didn't agree to participate in this show, then he wouldn't come either. He just schemed a little against Li Jianyu and hinted that as long as Xiangyi participated, he would participate. Then, his good son Li Jianyu, his good friend Li Jianyu really thought of a way to invite Xiangyi. Little did he know that Li Jianyu had also schemed a little against Xiangyi and told her that Shui had already agreed to come. "Why don't you come too?" That was all there was to it. Seeing that Shui didn't want to answer, Xiangyi didn't ask any more questions. She calculated the schedule and said, "There's still a week before we start filming. Why don't we go on a trip?" "Shui, is there a city you want to go to?" "Xiangyi, country B city. I've been wanting to eat there for a long time." The young best actor's eyes were full of affection. "Okay, I'll listen to you. What about you? Is there anything you want to do?" Shui said calmly, "Catching up on sleep with you." Xiangyi, "Huh. Then we'll set off later tomorrow. You can sleep a little more." "This isn't what I think." Shui coughed lightly and skipped this ambiguous topic. "Let's go. Don't let them wait too long." Considering the popularity of Shui and Xiangyi, Li Jianyu booked a private restaurant with good privacy and confidentiality. However, by the time Xiangyi and Zhang Zian arrived, they were still surrounded by the restaurant's owner, waiters, and chefs. To be precise, they were surrounding Xiangyi. "Wow! She's Sister E in real life. Big brother fan boss. Little girl, what do you want to eat? Uncle will make it for you. Uncle Pink Chef. Cub, Mama has finally seen our cub. Mama fan waiter. Li Jianyu was dumbfounded. Sister E is too ruthless. Men, women, old and young, Wan Qing said teasingly, seniority is the real deal. If it were any other celebrity being surrounded by so many people, some of them might not have given them a good look. However, Xiangyi was all smiles the entire time. She took photos and signed autographs. As they chatted, she even went directly to the kitchen with Uncle Chef to exchange cooking experiences. Everyone, wow, wow, wow. She's indeed our sister E. The weather was hot and the room was stuffy. Everyone simply moved the table to the courtyard and enjoyed the cool night breeze as they gossiped in full swing. Have you guys checked Weibo? There are more than 20 trending topics in the top 50 that are related to Shui's sister E. The Melon forum is also exploding. There's a post calling for a second season and the number of replies has already exceeded a few thousand. It's now the most popular post on the forum. The same goes for short videos. The content of our last episode is everywhere, especially the part where Sister E cried. It's absolutely beautiful. Everyone was chatting happily when footsteps and laughter suddenly came from the door. The two groups of people looked at each other and the atmosphere suddenly became strange. Chapter 933. Outside the door, in the center of the crowd, was a female artist who was as thin as a piece of paper. Her facial features were exquisite and beautiful, and her skin was so white that it seemed to glow. She exuded a completely different temperament from ordinary people. It was Shen Ruohua, who had been hyped up as the best female celebrity in terms of goods delivery some time ago. She debuted as a singer, and later became good at singing and acting. Regardless of her acting skills, her fans regarded her as a goddess because of her outstanding appearance. Some time ago, on the day that Xiangyi, Shui, and Yan Kai started a live broadcast in and out of China, her fans tried to tear Xiangyi apart, but ended up losing face instead. However, in today's entertainment industry, black celebrities were also popular. Shen Ruohua relied on that popularity to increase her salary by a lot. Moreover, whether it was a coincidence or intentional, Shen Ruohua also participated in a live broadcast variety show. The theme was about female celebrities who had debuted for many years and were remaking their debut as a girl group. Although it wasn't as popular as Two Under One Roof, there were still about 10 million online viewers during several live broadcasts. When the director of the girl group's live broadcast saw Li Jianyu, his eyes lit up instantly. He stepped forward and fawned over him for a long time before waving his hand. Waiter, move out the table in our private room, we'll also sit in the courtyard and eat. After the waiter moved the table, he slapped his head and pretended to apologize. Director Li, you don't mind, do you? It's all my fault, I'll punish myself with 3 glasses later. To be honest, I just want to bask in the joy of your show. The corners of Li Jianyu's mouth twitched slightly, but he couldn't say anything, so he could only laugh it off. The staff of Two Under One Roof visibly fell silent. Isn't this deliberately making things difficult for others? However, the director of the girl group was thick-skinned and asked Li Jianyu for advice on how to do a live broadcast variety show. At the beginning, Li Jianyu seriously explained, first, the market positioning. This is very important. You have to grasp the right point. What the audience likes to watch now is not just hair-pulling and catfights. They can also watch heartwarming and healing. However, the director of the girl group always retorted. Director Li, I'll call you brother. I understand what you're saying, I understand. Not only that, he kept picking on Li Jianyu's faults and then showing off how good his concept and planning was. It could be said that he vividly explained what it meant to be annoying. His catchphrase was, tell the truth. He had repeated it so many times that everyone's ears felt like calluses had formed on them. It was fine if he was the only one who was annoying, but there was more to come. Shen Ruohua first mentioned, intentionally or otherwise, that she had accepted a luxury brand endorsement deal and appeared on the cover of a few fashion magazines. She had even been invited to the official Mid-Autumn Festival Gala, blah, blah. Then, she talked about her maintenance secrets, such as putting on 5 facial masks every day, even covering her feet. She also had to take a bath, use luxurious essential oils, and use expensive aromatherapy. Then, she changed the topic. As for me, I won't be like some girls who only know how to revolve around the stove. I'll lose myself and only know how to please others, thinking that, only by grabbing a man's stomach can I grab a man's heart. As a woman of the new era, you have to be independent, strong, and have your own ideas. The books say that cooking is objectifying women. We women have to pursue our own rights. You know, this is called women's rights. She laughed sweetly. Of course, some girls definitely don't know about these advanced concepts. Chapter 934. This speech had a remarkable effect. It successfully made the entire courtyard fall silent. Li Jianyu understood. Are they treating me and the program crew like fools? Ha! I'll teach you how to behave. Li Jianyu pretended to be amazed. Wow, Goddess Shin, you're so insightful. I wonder which masterpiece it is. Can I go and read it? The girl group's director's expression changed slightly. With his skills, he could naturally tell that Li Jianyu was deliberately pretending to be crazy. Just as he was about to remind Shen Ruohua, Wan Qing proposed a toast to him. Director Ding, here's to you. I wonder if you're interested in variety shows. I have some connections here. Director Ding's eyes lit up and he instantly felt that the benefits at hand were more important. He lowered his voice and chatted with Wan Qing excitedly. Thus, everyone present heard Shen Ruohua say the title of a book. Women are born princesses and are destined to be spoiled by men. It's such a famous book, yet you guys haven't read it. Someone secretly searched for it. Yes, the book's label was labeled as chicken soup for the feelings of both sexes. That's it. That's it. Li Jianyu said. Ahem, good. What a good name. I must buy one. Shen Ruohua had always liked being flattered. She combed her hair and said confidently, after reading this book, you'll understand what real women's rights are. As soon as she finished speaking, Xiangyi happened to come out of the kitchen. The girl was carrying a wooden tray with a small bowl on it that was steaming. She placed the bowl in front of Shi Sui. Here, don't you have a sore throat? This is loquat snow pear rock sugar water. Drink it while it's hot. A completely opposite scene appeared at the scene. The staff of Two Under One Roof looked at her with envy. Some of the staff of the girl group's live stream sneered, some looked at her with contempt, and some whispered. It turns out that Xiangyi is trying to curry favor with Shi Sui in private. I really couldn't tell, why is she pretending to be spoiled? She's just a bootlicker. Will Shi Sui even care about her? Sister Hua is right. Girls are born to be spoiled by men. How can they spoil men? Xiangyi doesn't understand women's rights at all. The next second, Shi Sui pushed the crayfish and crab pincers that she had been peeling for a long time in front of Xiangyi. Here's your favorite spicy food. What would you like to drink? Is hot soy milk okay? The people from Two Under One Roof didn't think much of it. He had no choice. He was used to it. It wasn't as if the two of them had only doted on each other for a day or two. On the other hand, the female group production team was shocked. Shiringdi, who was like the moon in the clouds and the stars in the sky, would personally peel greasy and spicy crayfish and crab pincers for Xiangyi. This was too unbelievable. Shen Ruohua bit her lip. She picked up the wine glass, swayed her slender waist, and walked towards Xiangyi. Why did so many people say that she was not as good as Xiangyi? Why did those brands treat her as a replacement for Xiangyi? Xiangyi refused to accept the endorsement deal, so he came to her. She wanted to prove that she was no worse than Xiangyi. Sister Yi, I've heard a lot about you. Here's a toast to you. Xiangyi's doe eyes lit up. She rubbed her small hands and was a little surprised. Really? Shenruohua thought proudly in her heart, Xiangyi must be flattered. What she didn't know was that a certain little drunkard was dying of thirst, then I'll drink first. After Shenruohua said softly, she picked up the wine glass and touched her lips in front of everyone. Xiangyi. She looked confused. That's it. That's it. Chapter 935. Shenruohua was confused. She did not understand why Xiangyi had such a reaction. Li Jianyu and the others had a hard time holding back their laughter. TSK, the northern dialect often teases people who drink less, saying, "Are you raising fish?" Using this logic, Shenruohua was rearing goldfish. As for Sister Yi, the drunkard, she wanted to raise whales and sharks. Shenruohua maintained her professional fake smile. Xiangyi could only explain, "I'm sorry, maybe our understanding of quantifiers is a little different." She imitated Shenruohua and took a sip of wine. Looking at the remaining half of the wine in the glass, her heart ached. Sob, 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 little sister, let's have another toast. No, let's have a few more. Otherwise, this wine would be confiscated by Shui again. Shenruohua's eyes revealed a trace of relief, as if she felt that Xiangyi was not hopeless. Girls don't need to be so humble at the table. Why should they drink just because someone asked them to? Not feminist at all. Wine table culture is trash to begin with. Although Xiangyi liked to drink, she agreed with the last sentence and nodded her head out of social etiquette. Shenruohua's desire to teach was getting stronger. Sister Yi, a girl should focus on her career. She can't just focus on the kitchen. How can a girl do housework? You should let a man do it. Xiangyi was confused. Ah. Shouldn't we share the burden? Shenruohua said in surprise, how can that be? How could a girl do housework? Look, you've been completely poisoned by the male chauvinist culture. The corners of everyone's mouths twitched, and they were speechless. Xiangyi explained in a gentle voice, in a sense, housework is also a kind of labor. Labor is the integration of subject, object, and meaning. Labor is endowed with natural and social attributes by human beings. It is essentially equal, so I think we should share it together and not push it to one gender. Shenruohua. She curled her lips and said, forget it, I'm not going to tell you. You won't understand anyway. Everyone cursed in their hearts. Who was the one who couldn't understand? Xiangyi did not have the habit of teaching others. She smiled politely and did not say anything else. Everyone had their own way of thinking. She couldn't possibly let the whole world think the same way as her. Even if they didn't agree with him, they could choose not to comment on him. Other than using his mouth for debate, he could also choose to shut it. Shenruohua turned on her social mode and toasted Li Jianyu, Wan Qing, and the others. After all, she was an A-list starlet in the entertainment industry, so everyone gave her face and drank. After a round, it was finally Shui's turn. This was the first time Shenruohua had come into close contact with the legendary best actor. She could only feel her heart pounding. Many celebrities, including her, were as thin as paper in real life. Looking at them in real life, it was inevitable that they would feel as thin as firewood. But Shui didn't know how to do that at all. The man's body proportions were superior. He was muscular but not exaggerated. His facial features were impeccable. It was the kind of appearance and temperament that would make people's hearts race even under the devil's angle and light. Here's to you, Shuringdi, Shenruohua said sweetly. Shi Sui said faintly, sorry, I've quit drinking. Everyone in the production team knew about this. Li Jianyu even secretly asked him in private if he was planning to get pregnant. At that time, Shi Sui smiled and did not say anything. He did not refute. Shenruohua said, you're a man. How can you refuse a girl's toast? Chapter 936. Everyone. Excuse me. Could this be the legendary, large-scale double-standard scene? Shi Sui raised his eyebrows, but his tone was still indifferent. Thank you, I appreciate it. Shenruohua, she didn't expect Shi Sui to be so tactless. And in front of so many people, he had embarrassed her. Xiang Yi, who was at the side, looked at Shi Sui eagerly with a few words written in her eyes. I can drink for you. Shi Sui directly covered the mouth of the glass, putting an end to the little bunny's attempt to drink for him. Did you forget what you promised me? The man asked in a low voice. Xiang Yi averted her eyes. That doesn't count. She would never admit to the unequal terms she had signed in the bedroom and bathroom. Shi Sui chuckled and said in a volume that only the two of them could hear, looks like you still don't learn your lesson. A certain little bunny trembled. Shenruohua saw how gentle and doting Shi Sui was towards Xiang Yi and felt even more indignant. She brought out a sentence that was extremely lethal at the table, is Shi Sui looking down on me? Everyone. What kind of weird brain circuit was this? Shi Sui, you misunderstood, Miss Shen. There was nothing wrong with the way he phrased it. Shenruohua's heart was filled with a ball of fire. From netizens to brands, to Shi Sui in front of her, why did everyone think that Xiang Yi was better than her? She adeptly used the knowledge she had learned from the chicken soup book and mocked him. Shi Sui, don't tell me, you look down on women. I wonder if the online bloggers who support women's rights will criticize you if they hear that you don't even drink the wine offered to you by a girl. This accusation made everyone at the table tremble with fear. Li Jianyu boldly kicked Shi Sui under the table and desperately winked at him. Drink a glass, it's just a glass of wine, what's the big deal? However, Shi Sui was even more stubborn than everyone thought. Since it's a criticism, why should I care? Shi Sui spoke unhurriedly, I respect all reasonable and legal feminist movements, and I have always believed that men and women should be equal. I admit that there are some men in this society who, after enjoying privileges and preferential treatment, attack and hurt women in turn, but this isn't a reason to overturn the entire boat with one pole. Using unreasonable to resist unreasonable, Miss Shen, do you think it's appropriate? Shenruohua's mind went blank. She had been studying art since she was a child, and her results in her cultural studies were average. Her knowledge was not enough to support her clear logic in order to refute Shi Sui. She could only emphasize again, but I'm a girl, Shi Sui said calmly, but I'm also a man. Why can a girl refuse a toast, but a man must drink a toast? Shenruohua said, you're a man. You're bullying me. The next second, Shi Sui tugged at Xiang Yi's sleeve and complained, why is she like this? She sounded aggrieved. Shenruohua. Isn't this bullying? She felt even more aggrieved. Shenruohua. This familiar and fragrant tea aroma made everyone at the little rag group feel a sense of familiarity. As expected of our human world's Longjing tea. Using magic to defeat magic. Using green tea to defeat green tea. This is the correct way to deal with it. Xiang Yi's little face was serious. Miss Shen, please don't bully our Shi Sui. Otherwise, I'll suspect you of looking down on men and discriminating against them. Chapter 937. Everyone. Amazing. My sister Yi is still the best. Wasn't Shenruohua implying that Shi Sui discriminated against women? Sister Yi directly said that she discriminated against men. This was a textbook example of giving her a taste of her own medicine. Sure enough, Shenruohua's pupils dilated. She couldn't take it at all. Xiangyi said casually, "Is there anything else? If not, can you please not disturb us while we eat?" Shenruohua screamed in disbelief, "You're chasing me away. Xiangyi, do you know who I am?" "You." Xiangyi said frankly, "To be honest, I don't know." She could criticize her, but to criticize Shui. No way, Shenruohua was about to vomit blood. Everyone. Amazing. Sister E is still the best. Only Xiangyi had the guts and confidence to rebuke a domestic A-list starlet like this. Although it wasn't very appropriate to say it out loud, but it really felt good. No one sympathized with Shenruohua at all. She kept talking about women's rights, but she didn't know that women's rights were really about equality between men and women. Instead, she blindly wanted privileges. Moreover, judging from the look in her eyes, she was clearly lusting after Shui's body. Even if Sister E agreed, they wouldn't. Shenruohua gritted her teeth and stomped her feet before returning to her seat. Director Ding saw that the situation wasn't right. He obsequiously asked for Wan Qing's WeChat and hurried back. Other celebrities in the entertainment industry might have some scruples, but these two really had nothing to worry about. After all, if they couldn't survive in the entertainment industry, Shui and Xiangyi could only go home to inherit billions of assets, marry into wealthy families, and live a boring life of eating, drinking, and shopping. Shenruohua returned to her table. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. Hence, she used her alternate account to post on Weibo. This is so annoying. What's so great about meeting a so-called model couple? Each one is more impolite than the other, hypocritical and disgusting. I really f*** them. The man is alright, he has won a few awards, but what is the woman? Haha. She's useless except for her popularity. She owes men. She posted on Weibo in a hurry and didn't realize that she had logged into her main account to post a selfie today and didn't have time to switch it, and so, some netizens arrived at the battlefield as soon as possible. Wow, was your account hacked? Hahaha, she must have forgotten to check her account number. TSK, Shenruohua's goddess persona has collapsed. There are so many asterisks, how vulgar. Ah, you're using a smurf account, why don't you just say your name? I'm dying of anxiety. Can anyone decipher who this model couple is? Shenruohua was especially concerned about her manager. When she saw the Weibo post, she broke out in a cold sweat. Ruohua. What are you doing? Shenruohua used her chopsticks to pick up a piece of chicken breast. Chewing it, she spat it out and said impatiently, "It's tiring to maintain my figure. Can't I just have a taste?" The manager lowered her voice and said, "Hurry up and delete the Weibo post. You sent me the wrong number." Patter, Shenruohua's chopsticks fell onto the table. She hurriedly deleted the Weibo post, her hands trembling as she did so. How could this be? She just wanted to scold Xiangyi and Shui. What was wrong with that? The internet had memories. Even though she had deleted the Weibo post, there were still netizens who kept commenting on her previous Weibo post. Besides, many netizens were tagging her. At Shenruohua, hello, open the door, please sign for your face-slapping express delivery. The National Variety Awards have just nominated Sister E, Shui, and Two Under One Roof. Chapter 938. What? The National Television Program Award. Shenruohua's expression was no longer enough to describe her shock. It was the most authoritative television program award in the country at present. It included all television programs, news, variety shows, finance, sports, and children's programs. It was known as the Golden TV Award by the industry. It could be said that winning this award was the greatest dream of countless directors, producers, and screenwriters in the country. Moreover, this award was only given once every 3 years. Many programs did not make it in time for the award when they were popular. Hence, it was naturally difficult for them to compete with the programs that were popular back then. There were many outstanding programs that even became forgotten pearls. However, this year, Two Under One Roof was really lucky. Not only did it repeatedly set records, it also made it in time for the award ceremony. The right time, the right place, and the right people were all there. Shenruohua bit her lip and said, "It's just a nomination, it's not like we're really going to win an award." Didn't an unpopular program win an award before? Her manager was about to persuade her to get over it when her cell phone rang. After answering the call, her expression gradually became solemn. After hanging up, her manager took several deep breaths before saying, "Ruohua, your guest list for the Mid-Autumn Festival Gala has been cancelled." Shenruohua stood up abruptly. How is that possible? Everyone looked at her. Her manager hurriedly pulled her to sit down and scolded, "Don't make a fuss. Do you think everyone hasn't seen enough of you making a fool of yourself?" The atmosphere at the girl group's live stream was depressing. They were supposed to have a happy meal together, but now, there was only awkwardness. On the other hand, there was a sudden burst of cheers on the side of Two Under One Roof. "Oh my God! We've been nominated for the Golden TV Award." "Oh, it's true. I saw a lot of media outlets reposting it. Best Variety Newcomer, Best Production Program, Most Popular Program, Best Innovative Program. I'm going to cry, we're too amazing." In the courtyard, the two groups of people formed a stark contrast. One group felt as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. The other group was crying and laughing at the same time, overjoyed. On the internet, Shenruohua was also being tagged again. "Shenruohua, dear, are you satisfied with the face-slapping package?" "Shenruohua, this is hilarious. Of all people to provoke, why did you provoke Sister E? Don't you know Sister E has the 100% face-slapping halo?" "Shenruohua, you there?" Xiangyi didn't get an award, but she was nominated by Golden TV in the blink of an eye. "What about you?" Xiangyi, who has been in the industry for so many years, hasn't won a single award. What a joke. Even Xiangyi, who has been in the industry for only a year, is a real joke. Those comments stung Shenruohua's eyes. What made her even more desperate was that before the dinner was over, her agent had already received several calls from brands who wanted to cancel their cooperation. Those endorsements were all rejected by Xiangyi before they came to her, but now, he had lost them one by one. Could it be that it wasn't that she couldn't compare to Xiangyi, but that she didn't even have the qualifications to be compared to Xiangyi? "Come, let's get drunk tonight." After Li Jinyu finished shouting, he immediately added, "If you can't drink, you can drink juice or milk. No matter if you're a man or a woman, don't force yourself. And you're not allowed to persuade others to drink." The staff felt warm in their hearts. Following such a director, really, he was so lucky. The female group really couldn't eat anymore. They went over to settle the bill and tried to get the boss to give them a discount. The boss said calmly, "I'm sorry, our shop doesn't accept discounts." With that said, he waved his hand and gave a bunch of dishes and drinks to the group for free. "Everyone, eat and drink well. It's not enough to shout." The female group was speechless. Chapter 939. Seeing that they had no intention of paying, the boss raised his eyebrows. "What's the matter? Do you want me to tip more?" Everyone in the female group was speechless. Someone said indignantly, "Boss, you're too much of a double standard. You're giving them food, fruit platters, and drinks. Not only are we not giving them anything, we can't even give them a discount." Another person chimed in, "Exactly. Boss, you have to be honest when opening a restaurant." The boss laughed in exasperation. "Everyone, my restaurant may be small, but the prices are clearly marked. I won't stop you even if you call the consumers to complain. Seeing how firm the boss was, the two people didn't dare to say anything. The group of people paid and left the private restaurant with their tails between their legs. As soon as they left, the boss looked righteous, but he was thinking to himself. Sob, they're finally gone. I can finally give Kiki and May more expensive and better food and drinks. Next, all kinds of expensive ingredients were served. There were lobsters, matsutake mushrooms, imported ham, top-grade beef. Li Jianyu said blankly, Boss, did you serve the wrong dishes? We didn't order these. The boss smiled and said, It's a gift, it's all a gift. Li Jianyu said faintly, The last time I came, you wouldn't even give me 3 yuan for the change. The boss said righteously, How can that be the same? You're a guest, but Sister E is my stepfamily. Everyone was speechless. Boss, you're going a little overboard by forcing her to acknowledge you as her relative. Xiangyi didn't refuse the boss's kindness in front of him. She smiled happily, but when it came time to pay the bill, she deliberately gave him a little more. After the production team of Two Under One Roof left, everyone in the private restaurant had tears in their eyes. Sister E is so nice. This little girl is really not bad. Our kid's EQ is too high. That night, countless people tossed and turned restlessly, unable to fall asleep. Some people were not used to not having the company of Little Pie, some were happy that Little Pie had won a big prize, while others, it was indescribable. The next day, the tutu landed at the manor in the afternoon. Xiangyi was drowsy. Shui wrapped her in a small blanket and carried her onto the plane. They took a long nap on the plane. When they opened their eyes again, they had already set foot on the land of Beast City. Because of the time difference, it was still daytime here. Xiangyi had slept for almost an entire day and was now full of energy. Coincidentally, Jiang Jojo and Su Tumi were also in Beast City, so the three of them hit it off and happily went shopping together. The purchasing power of women was strong. The purchasing power of 3 women could only be described as shocking. Shui accompanied her all the way like a gentleman. He paid the bill with his card and even took the initiative to carry her bag. He bought a bunch of useful and useless things and even drank afternoon tea to replenish his energy. At that time, Shui asked, Are you leaving? The 3 girls looked at him with puzzled eyes. What are you talking about? Yeah, I just started shopping. Shui, girls are indeed amazing creatures. They can't run 800 meters but they can walk 20,000 steps when shopping. Su Tumi teased, Isn't that right, Shui? Haven't you gone shopping with girls before? Jiang Jojo pursed her lips and said, How is that possible? You're clearly very familiar with this business. Shui said with a smile, If it's not considered acting, this is really the first time. Su Tumi and Jiang Jojo looked at each other and smiled sinisterly. Then let's test you. What size clothes and shoes does Sister E wear? Chapter 940. The two of them didn't have much hope for Shui. After all, it was normal for men not to remember. They just wanted to tease Shui. To their surprise, Shui really revealed her size accurately. The clothes are XS or S, and the shoes are 35.5 or 36. Jiang Jojo was speechless. Su Tumi was speechless too. The two of them looked at Xiangyi in unison. Sister E, you gave him a hint, didn't you? Yes, Sister E, you must have cheated. Xiangyi shrugged helplessly. I really didn't, we didn't even make eye contact just now. So, Shui really knows Xiangyi's size. Jiang Jojo humphed. Su Tumi secretly tightened her grip on the hem of her skirt. Ah, I've hit it. It's another day of excessive sugar. Next, Jiang Jojo and Su Tumi asked a lot of questions, some of which even Xiangyi found tricky. However, Shui actually answered all of them fluently. He even knew that she preferred dried beans over fried ones. After asking for a long time, Jiang Jojo and Su Tumi's throats were dry and they drank several cups of fruit tea. Su Tumi was an artiste herself and she liked to gossip too. She suddenly thought of something and exclaimed in surprise. Hasn't your show only been live-streamed for 2 months? But, it's impossible for you to know so much in just 2 months. Shui, have you been harboring designs on Sister E since a long time ago? Jiang Jojo kicked her gently under the table and Su Tumi hurriedly changed her words. It was a slip of the tongue. Silly. What I wanted to say was that I'm secretly in love with her. No, I mean deeply in love with her. Shui smiled and didn't say anything. Jiang Jojo secretly rolled her eyes. Indeed, that dog of a man has been coveting Sister E for a long time. Su Tumi covered her mouth excitedly. Mom. This couple is so real, Mom. Turns out it wasn't love at first sight, it was premeditated for a long time. She wanted to continue asking but Shui changed the subject calmly. There's a pavilion B in this mall, do you want to take a look? Su Tumi was instantly distracted. Sure. I just looked at the GPS. There are several super beautiful shops in Hall B. Sister E, you can take your pick. Xiangyi thought she was talking about gowns, but she didn't expect that when she went there, she found that those shops were actually selling wedding dresses. Su Tumi chuckled and said, am I right? Isn't it beautiful? Buying this. Isn't it a little too early? Xiangyi asked uncertainly. Ayaya, why don't you try it on? I haven't seen Sister E in a wedding dress before. Xiangyi hesitated for a moment before being pulled into the store by Su Tumi. Jiang Jojo stomped her feet and followed him in. A moment later. The shop assistant pulled open the white curtain of the fitting room. A young girl in a wedding dress entered everyone's eyes. The off-shoulder design accentuated the girl's slender shoulders and swan-like neck. Her collarbone was exquisite, and her skin was milky white with a hint of pink. She bit her lower lip uneasily and asked, is it very strange? Su Tumi and Jiang Jojo, who were sitting on the two-seater sofa, were already dumbfounded. Sister, if you don't go back now, there won't be a princess in Disneyland anymore. Oh my god, sister, which fairy tale book didn't make you come out of? Shui, who was flipping through a magazine on the single-seater sofa, had a look of amazement in her eyes. Ever since Xiangyi appeared, she hadn't flipped back a single page of the magazine. Bunny in a wedding dress, why is she so beautiful? Su Tumi egged him on. Shui. Why don't you try on some men's clothing? The design of this wedding dress is actually quite casual, you can totally wear it to the award ceremony. Chapter 941. If the fans of the untimely couple heard her words, they would definitely call her an expert. Sister, you must be the #1 dating expert. Wearing a wedding gown to the award ceremony. Just the thought of it makes me feel so sweet. Jiang Jojo wanted to retort, but she couldn't bring herself to say anything, although she felt that Shui was too much of a bitch and she thought that her sister deserved better. She was obsessed with looks too. She thought about the scene of Shui wearing a black suit and Xiangyi wearing a white wedding gown as they walked down the red carpet hand in hand. Damn. Wear it for me. Xiangyi said, huh? That's not very appropriate. The young girl looked at Shui. She felt that since Shui usually kept a low profile, she probably wouldn't do something so ostentatious. Okay. Shui put down the magazine, adjusted her clothes, and said, I'll go try it on now. Xiangyi was speechless. Su Tumi exclaimed, Sister, hurry up and try something else. Jiang Jojo said reluctantly, then I'll take a photo of the two of you later. You can see which one looks the best. If there was a first set, there would be a second one, a third one. Xiangyi tried on more than 10 wedding gowns and she felt that she had never been so exhausted before. Even when she was catching up on sleep with Shui, she didn't feel so tired. Shui was very patient and cooperated to try on more than 10 suits. In the end, Su Tumi and Jiang Jojo both chose the same set. It was a black suit for men. It was clean and neat without any extra design, but it had high requirements for the figure. Shui was completely like a clothes hanger. He was tall, had long legs, broad shoulders, and a narrow waist. Coupled with his handsome face, he looked even better than a supermodel. The female wedding gown didn't have an exaggerated tail and just reached Xiangyi's ankles. The hem of the dress was fluffy and girlish. Compared to a wedding gown, it was more like a gown for a banquet. The shop assistant was grinning from ear to ear. While the two of them were trying on the clothes, countless customers entered the store and bought the same gown. Even Su Tumi, who had always been known as a little expert in planting grass, couldn't help but sigh with emotion. The two of them are simply walking planters. Jiang Jojo said. Even I want to buy it, let alone passers-by. She created a small group and sent the beautiful photos she had taken earlier to the group. The few of them had a good relationship with Nan, and they all knew that Nan and Si Chuanbai were close, so they pulled the two managers into the group. Nan was the first to come out and flatter him. He sent more than 10 voice messages in a row. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Whoa, I've been killed by my darling's beauty. Year XX, 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 the day when you obediently wear a little skirt and make the world fall for you with your beauty. Si Chuanbai, who was beside him, was holding a black notebook and using a gold fountain pen to record on Nan's flattery. Yes, there was no end to learning. Who was he going to praise after learning such valuable knowledge? Was there a need to ask? Of course, it was to praise Sister Yi. Was Shui worthy? Xiangyi felt that one of the group photos looked quite good, so she updated her Weibo account. Xiangyi v. Oh, degree asterisk. Oh, I'm so hot. After a few minutes, she went to read the comments, only to be filled with question marks. Oh. Baby, you guys went abroad to get your marriage certificate. Have you guys heard? Why did I hear from my colleague that Shusui's sister Yi is married? You guys are too slow. Let me tell you newbies, the two of them quarreled and Xiangyi ran away with the ball. Shui is wooing his wife. Xiangyi. What? Where did you guys get the script? Chapter 942. Take wedding photos. Get a marriage certificate. Get married. Run with the ball. How can you imagine so much content from an ordinary photo? All netizens these days are novelists, right? Xiangyi was still in a daze when Nan called. After she picked up, she screamed. Oh, Sister Yi. The bridal gown brand that you two are wearing has invited you and Shui to endorse it. It's the most luxurious bridal gown brand in the world. Si Chuanbai, who was beside him, said in a calm and serious voice, the brand sponsor said that if you don't want to endorse it, a short-term business cooperation is fine, or you can be the brand's best friend or brand ambassador. Do you think that's okay? Su Tumi muttered to herself, is this what it means to be a top-tier celebrity? I can get an endorsement just by trying on clothes. Sob, it turns out that I'm such a noob. Jiang Jojo patted her shoulder sympathetically and said, Sister, don't cry. Look on the bright side, we can at least wear bridesmaid gowns. Su Tumi cheered up and exclaimed, I can do it again. Xiangyi and Shui discussed for a while and finally turned down the endorsement. Nan lamented, oh my God, can't you guys consider it again? I'm so heartbroken. His family has a high status in the luxury goods industry and the endorsement fee is also very high. Xiangyi said gently, both of us already have luxury brand endorsements, it's not appropriate for us to take on another one. Besides, we have to consider our fans too. The previous brand has a wider audience and a wider product line. This brand only has bridal gowns and many people may not need them. If we buy it just because we like it, I don't think it's appropriate. Nan sighed and said, good girl, she's so gentle. Not all of them, but there were indeed some artists in the entertainment industry who wouldn't hesitate to earn money from their fans. It was really rare for people like Xiangyi and Shui to be so considerate. Besides, if we accept the endorsement, we'll have to wear their gowns at the wedding. My third brother has already begun to prepare a wedding gown for me. If I don't wear it, he'll definitely be sad, Xiangyi explained. Nan was speechless. Okay, sorry to disturb you. Her own brother is making a wedding dress or something. Isn't this too doting? Alright, I'll handle it. Si Chuanbai's tone was calm, as if he didn't care that the two of them had missed out on this endorsement deal. After hanging up, Nan asked curiously, don't you care about the money? At least tens of millions. Si Chuanbai adjusted his glasses. It's not good to take on too many endorsements, but the most important reason is. Have you forgotten that they still have family assets to inherit? Nan seemed to wake up from a dream. 6 days later. Tutu was stuffed with a lot of things. In addition to Xiangyi's clothes, bags, shoes, kitchen utensils and so on, there were also various gifts for the Xiang family. In the past 6 days, the brand of wedding dresses that Shui and Xiangyi had tried on became extremely popular. The brand was already inflated to begin with, but now, it was even sweeter. They increased the price every day and were criticized by countless people. The fans were all glad that the two of them didn't accept the endorsement. Otherwise, who knew how many haters he would attract? In addition, the focus of public opinion was all about the Golden TV Awards. Even though there were no more live broadcasts, Shui and Xiangyi were still very popular. In the small and shabby live broadcast room, there were hundreds of thousands of people hanging up all year round. It was as if they were looking forward to the day when the blackened screen would come back to life. However, in order to increase their chances of winning, the other shows that were also selected began all kinds of tricks. Chapter 943. For example, they would release all kinds of scandals that were fabricated out of thin air, or step on the minor characters while boasting about themselves, or deliberately flatter the minor characters in an attempt to kill them. In short, the awards ceremony had yet to begin and the schemes had already been going on for a few rounds. Li Jinyu was so angry that he argued with the netizens online every day. On the eve of the awards night, there had already been subtle changes in the public opinion on the internet. Although many people felt that the minor characters could win an award, the other shows were not bad either. Perhaps, the other shows would become dark horses. At 10 p.m., when the traffic on Weibo was at its peak, a well-known paparazzi marketing account broke the news frowny face trailer. There will be a big melon tomorrow about 2 top celebrities, the kind that can make Weibo collapse. In an instant, the entire internet exploded. The netizens were so excited that they started discussing under this Weibo post. What the heck? Top celebrities. There aren't many who can be considered top celebrities in the industry, right? What? Are YZZ and SJ together? Or did XYS and WKN get divorced? Help, don't abbreviate at a time like this, okay? I'm so anxious that I can't eat anything. Could it be SS and XY? What kind of melon can they have? The award ceremony is tomorrow. While the netizens were discussing fervently, some fake reviewers appeared and began to lead the discussion. Well, I heard that the two of them did it. My friend's second uncle's niece's best friend works at Tomato Entertainment. No, that's all fake news. The two of them actually did it. That's illegal in our country. I think the two of them will definitely be banned tomorrow even if the Golden TV Awards are given to them. It'll probably be a one-day award. Someone on the Melon forum has already revealed that the child is already 3 years old. Seong Yi got together with SJ at the age of 18 and can't get married at that age. This Melon is very credible. I bet it'll definitely be on the hot search list tomorrow. In the end, in the eyes of the passers-by, it became a mixture of truth and falsehood. It didn't seem very reliable. Shui and Xiangyi were both in good looks and mental state. However, the possibility of having a baby was real. There were also people who came up with stories about the two of them, such as, officially announced with the top movie emperor, after running with the ball, I became his white moonlight. Damn, Zai Zai's mother became famous in the entertainment circle because of her son. After 3 years of loving a top movie artist, I also became a top movie artist. Xiangyi saw Anan's phone by chance and followed him for a while. She felt as if she had been baptized. These people's imaginations are too rich. Xiangyi suddenly felt that the world she had been to were not as bizarre as the stories made up by the netizens. Sure enough, art comes from life. Anan laughed so hard that his stomach hurt. My goodness, my goodness. This is the funniest. You don't even know your horoscope and you can even divine your child's fortune. Xiangyi, there's also this one. It says that you and Shurindi don't want to have children because Shurindi can't do it. TSK, this comment has over 50,000 likes and thousands of replies. Xiangyi, she glanced at it and found that there were other netizens replying to the comment. Hashtag Shui can't do it. Hashtag, delete it. Let me send a dog emoji. Are you also a Shui anti-fan? What a coincidence, I'm shaking hands too. Lend me your phone. Xiangyi took the phone from Anan and replied with a blushing face, I'm sorry. He can do it. Chapter 944. Anan was flabbergasted. Oh my god, what am I seeing? After Xiangyi used Anan's alternate account to reply, she was immediately rebuked by the netizens. Oh. Are you really an anti-fan? No. If I say no, it means no. Huh, you're not Xiangyi, how would you know? Xiangyi was speechless. Hey, who's the anti-fan here? With mixed feelings, she returned the phone to Anan. Anan was still immersed in the public display of affection brought about by the words, he can do it. Thinking that he was still single, he muttered to himself, it's so hard for me, Xiangyi said, it's hard for me too. The two looked at each other and sighed in unison. The next day. Early in the morning, the Golden TV Awards Committee held a meeting to discuss the news on the internet last night. The award had already been decided, but now, there were differences in opinion among the judges. One faction thought, I don't think this award should be given to Shui, Xiangyi, and two under one roof. They're like ticking time bombs now. If they really do something illegal and get banned, wouldn't our award become a joke? Another faction thought, let's not talk about the possibility that someone is deliberately trying to stir things up. The original intention of the National Television Program Awards was to select popular programs, hosts, and guests that the public likes. If we forget our original intention, then I don't think there's a need for us to continue giving out awards. Of course, there were also those who tried to mediate the situation, commonly known as the peacemakers. They were also trying their best to participate in the conversation. Hey, calm down, calm down. Have a bowl of mung bean soup. Actually, I think it's fine if we don't give out the award. You all have your own reasons. If you ask me, why don't we put it on hold and see what the marketing account is going to reveal? The group of people discussed from morning to evening, but there was still no conclusion. At this point, there was only 1.5 hours left before the award ceremony. Nanchang Arts Center. The venue of the Golden TV Awards, which was held once every 3 years, was chosen to be at the Arts Center. At this time, the nearby roads were already under traffic control, and the venue was heavily guarded. At the entrance, the red carpet stretched all the way. There were media reporters waiting on both sides, as well as fans who had managed to get tickets by relying on their speed. Several photographers and drones hovering in the air were on standby. The two red carpet hosts were ready and waiting for the director's instructions to start the live broadcast. The voice of the chief dispatcher spread to every staff member on the scene through the headset and walkie-talkie. Counting down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the live stream begin. The two hosts revealed professional smiles. Hello, dear viewers of Fictional Live. This is the awards ceremony of the National Television Program Awards. Welcome. Tonight, the stars are shining brightly. The hosts, directors, and the main creative team of the TV show that everyone is looking forward to have arrived. Who are you looking forward to seeing the most in front of the screen? Which show are you looking forward to the most? In the bullet screen, although there were also the names of other programs, the one that appeared the most frequently and had the most comments was undoubtedly the following frowny face 2 under one roof. The directors of the various variety shows were all watching the live broadcast on their phones. At this time, their hearts were filled with worry. Our fake reviewers wouldn't have been bought for nothing, right? Chapter 945. For the Golden TV Awards this time, the other programs didn't have much of a competitive relationship with Two Under One Roof. On the contrary, the other variety shows all saw Two Under One Roof as their biggest enemy. There were only a few awards for variety shows. As long as Two Under One Roof didn't win an award, they might be able to win an award. Therefore, in the face of common interests, these variety shows chose to band together and get rid of their strongest opponent first. In the past 2 days, they had spent money to hire fake reviewers to influence the public opinion on the internet. They had also spent a lot of money to buy trending searches in order to expand their influence. They originally thought that the effect would be significant, but they didn't expect that as soon as the live stream began, the comments were all about Two Under One Roof. That was very annoying. Don't worry, God of Cookery was really ruthless yesterday. They directly created a time bomb. The judges of the Golden TV Awards definitely don't want to cause trouble. To be on the safe side, they definitely won't review Two Under One Roof! The assistant director of a certain variety show lowered his voice and whispered to the director. The director said, I hope so. For some reason, he had a feeling that the show would fail. I hope nothing will happen. After the host warmed up the atmosphere, it was time for the red carpet segment that the audience was looking forward to. The first to walk the red carpet were the top programs of the major satellite TV channels, such as news, technology, finance, folk arts, children's entertainment. In the era where satellite TV programs were declining, the faces of these people were undoubtedly unfamiliar to the audience. After that, it was time for online programs, including treasure appraisal, documentaries, interview programs, talk shows, live streams, and so on. Be it the guests or the directors, the audience was obviously familiar with these programs, and the pop-up comment section also became lively. Wow, Teacher Meng is already in her 60s, but she's still so energetic. Aw, Cece is so good-looking. Why isn't she fat at all after being a foodie for so long? I'm burning with anxiety. When is Little Broken going to come out? Does anyone know the exact time? She has already eaten 2 bags of melon seeds. Amidst the anticipation of the audience, several low-key black commercial vehicles stopped at the end of the red carpet. The first to get out of the car was Lee Jianyu, who was wearing a British-style suit. He looked completely different from his usual short-sleeved shirt, underpants, and slippers. Everyone in the live stream was spamming, "Handsome, who are you? Wow." He opened the car door like a gentleman and extended his hand to Ruan Qing. Ruan Qing was wearing a red dress today. The tailored dress accentuated her slender figure, and her red lips made her look valiant and domineering. Oh my god, Wan Qing's looks and temperament are killing me. The planner, scriptwriter, cameraman, lighting technician, sound engineer, and stage supervisor got out of the car one after another. Other variety shows would not have so many staff members. But Li Jinyu felt that this show was created by everyone together. If the conditions allowed, of course they should send as many people as they could. After winning the prize, everyone could share it. Even if they didn't win the award, they could still cry together and beg Sister Yi to make more delicious food. Hee, Li Jinyu couldn't help but giggle. Wan Qing nudged him with her elbow. Hold my arm. What she meant was for Li Jinyu to bend his arms so that she could hold it. Wan Qing felt that since the two of them were so familiar with each other, they should be able to read each other's minds even if the subject was omitted. The next second, Li Jinyu happily took Wan Qing's arm and leaned on her shoulder like a big bird, smiling foolishly at the camera. Chapter 946. Wan Qing was speechless. The audience was speechless. Ha! Something seems to be wrong. I can't take it anymore, I'm dying of laughter because of my son. Director Li, please stop being a director. Debut as a comedian. Li Jinyu had yet to realize what the problem was. He chuckled and said, I've always been the one filming others. This is the first time so many people are filming me. It's quite glaring. Wan Qing burst into laughter. She brushed her hair with one hand, exuding an alluring charm. Yeah, that's right. What if I find a silly boyfriend? I can only spoil him. The door of the last car was opened. The cameramen and drones swarmed over and began filming from all angles. On the screen, a pair of shiny black leather shoes appeared, followed by long slender legs wrapped in trousers. Further up, there was a tailored black suit, a snow-white shirt, and a dark patterned tie meticulously tied. The only color was the budding pink rose in his chest pocket. The live stream instantly exploded. Ah! Sure Sui. It's Sure Sui. He's finally here. Is it a pink rose? Oh my god, the pink rose's words are an oath of love that symbolizes an eternal commitment to one's lover. It's so sweet right off the bat. Who can resist it? After Sure Sui got out of the car, he held Xiangyi's hand and gently helped her out of the car. Even though the little bunny was wearing safety pants, he still paid attention to tidying the hem of her dress. Xiangyi was wearing the white dress that she had picked out the other day. The style and cut were very simple, but since it was a wedding dress brand, the details were particularly exquisite. There was a lace design on the sleeves, and the hem of the dress was covered with layers of white gauze, which was decorated with hand-sewn feathers and fine diamonds. Under the refraction of the magnesium lights, it was dazzling and eye-catching. The girl's slender and fair wrist was tied with a rustic ribbon and a white rose. Unsurprisingly, from the moment Xiangyi appeared, the comments in the live stream were so dense that they blocked the entire screen. Sister Yi. Sister Yi. Screaming at the top of my lungs, Xiang Yi in a dress is so cute. Zai Zai is truly the most beautiful person in history. Details. They were all details. Sister Yi was wearing a wrist flower. Usually, only the bride would wear it on the wedding day. I don't care if today is the award ceremony or not. In my heart, today is Shursui's Sister Yi's wedding. White roses flower language, beautiful first love. This was his response to Sure Sui's fan, Rose. When I cry, it's the sweetest. No rebuttal is accepted. The enthusiasm of the fans could be felt even through the cold electronic screen. The other variety show directors felt the same way. This was the result of hiring fake reviewers to slander, two under one roof. If they hadn't hired fake reviewers, they would probably be nothing more than sidekicks now. However, it was hard to say now. Humph. Small flaws. Just listening to it sounds like a bad sign. Perhaps today would really become a lousy variety show that was nothing. Meanwhile, the meeting of the judges was not over yet. There was a stalemate as neither side gave in. At this moment, someone exclaimed, "That blogger has posted a trailer again." Everyone took out their cell phones and saw that the blogger had updated a new Weibo post. Paparazzi number 1V, 8:00, be there or be square. The announcement of the Variety Show Awards happened to be around 8:00. The discussion of the meeting returned to the original point. Should we award or not? Chapter 947. If they did, what if the paparazzi exposed Shui and Xiangyi scandals? However, if they didn't, they felt that they would be letting Shui and Xiangyi down. In the conference room, the judges were extremely anxious until a certain director who was drinking mung bean soup slowly said, "Why don't we just move the Variety Show Awards to after 8:00? Everyone was speechless. Damn, is that even possible? However, it was really a good idea. If the scandals that were exposed were harmless, the award would definitely be given. If the scandals were exposed, they would immediately switch to another show. The atmosphere in the room suddenly became much more relaxed. Dear viewers, this is the venue for the National Television Program Awards ceremony. Let's turn the camera to the hosts of tonight's ceremony. The two live hosts completed their task and the camera then switched to the stage. The stage was decorated magnificently and the bright lights were shining. The four hosts were all dressed in suits or gowns and smiled at the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, guests present, fans present, as well as friends watching the live broadcast in front of your screens, how do you do? It's another summer. The hosts gave a cameo speech. The executive director probably knew that the live broadcast audience didn't like to hear such things, so he switched the camera back and forth and gave a lot of close-up shots of the popular hosts, directors, and artists. In terms of popularity, variety shows were obviously more popular. Among the variety shows, Two Under One Roof was naturally the most popular. When the camera panned across several other variety shows, there were also a lot of bullet screen comments, but when the camera fell on the crew of Two Under One Roof, the screen was flooded with bullet screen comments. The popularity of the show were simply terrifying. In the dispatch room, the executive director immediately gave Two Under One Roof a lot of screen time. They invited the famous boy group C7 for the opening performance. After the host announced the acts, the on-site staff began to prepare the stage props. Taking advantage of this gap, Xiangyi whispered to Shui, "If only we brought Xiao Naofu along. It's so fond of crowds, it would definitely be very happy." However, Li Jianyu and Wan Qing only thought that she had a second personality, and that Xiao Naofu was just an ordinary kitten. After some consideration, they decided not to bring Xiao Naofu along. Xiangyi felt a little regretful and asked Xiao Naofu for its opinion, but it also said that it didn't want to come. However, Shui chuckled softly and patted the pocket of his suit. Swish! A fluffy and white cat head popped out. The kitten raised its two pointy ears and meowed at Xiangyi. "It's cute. Hee hee, stupid woman, this hoo-hoo and that dog man teamed up to trick you." Xiangyi was surprised and happy. She whispered, "Xiao Naofu." The live stream was boiling with excitement. "Oh, Green Tea Meow is here too. That's great. A family should be together. If only little Shiji were here. It's so strange, the official Weibo account hasn't posted any updates about little Shiji. Could it be that little Shiji is sick? Oh my god, I'm too easily moved to tears." As soon as Xiao Naofu appeared, my tears came out. "Wah, Shui, you can do it. Good luck, Sister E. Let's do our best too." When the director of another variety show next door saw Xiao Naofu appear, his eyes immediately lit up. The opportunity to embarrass two under one roof has come. This is like giving me a pillow when I'm sleepy. Chapter 948. He covered his mouth with his hand and coughed twice. Taking advantage of the change in camera angle, he turned his head and said with a smile, "Xiao Naofu is so good-looking. I've never seen such a cute kitten before. Can you rub it for me?" He thought that since he was a famous director in the variety industry, and Shi Sui might have to deal with him if she continued to take on variety shows in the future, she would at least give him some face. Unexpectedly, Shi Sui smiled and said, "No." The director was speechless. Unwilling to give up, he faked a smile and said, "Oh, Xiao Naofu, come let uncle rub your head." When his hand was still a dozen centimeters away from Xiao Naofu's head, the kitten let out a fierce howl. One of the many cheats that little white tiger had given it, Tiger's Roar, had taken effect. The director trembled. For some reason, he felt that the cute kitten in front of him was scarier than a tiger. Coincidentally, the biased camera cut over again. While filming Shi Sui and Xiang Yi, it also captured the scene of the director shivering. Some netizens were puzzled. What's going on? Does Director Yen of this outdoor survival variety show have Parkinson's disease? Director Yen refused to give up. After the fear in his heart dissipated, he continued, "A cat is a cat after all. It's different from a dog. A dog knows how to guard the house, but what does a cat know? Raising a cat, no matter how much you raise it, it will never mature." Shi Sui smiled but didn't say anything. "It seems that Shirindi agrees with my point of view." Director Yen looked so ordinary, but he was so confident. "How can we let a cat come to such a grand occasion? What if it scratches someone? They'll have to get a rabies vaccine. Shirindi, you're the main character tonight. It's not convenient for you to go out. How about I send this cat away for you?" Director Yen pretended to hug the cat, but Xiao Naofu scratched him fiercely. A bloody mark appeared on the back of his hand. Director Yen yelled, "Oh, why is your cat scratching people? It's like a stray cat. Shirindi, why did you bring a beast here? If the netizens see this, it'll be embarrassing." He deliberately raised his voice, trying to attract the camera's attention, but when he turned his head, he found the camera was focused on them from start to finish. Director Yen. Where? How could there be fixed guests at such a big event? His face suddenly turned pale as he realized that his actions had been witnessed by the netizens. "I'm confused. Is this Director Yen a drama queen? I'm full of question marks. You were the one who provoked Xiao Naofu first, okay? What bad intentions does the kitten have? It just didn't want the strange and greasy uncle to touch it. It was just self-defense, but it turned right and wrong into a stray cat. Our axe is really pitiful." Director Yen never expected that he would end up being the funniest clown in the industry. He wanted to slander and frame Xiao Naofu, thereby causing netizens to be dissatisfied with Shi Sui, Xiang Yi, and even two under one roof. He wanted to cry but had no tears. He was so regretful that his intestines had turned green. At this moment, the opening dance performance began. The youngsters from C7 had brought him a perfect stage. They were the center of attention. At the end of the performance, the host smiled and asked, "Thank you to C7 for bringing us such a wonderful performance. How do you feel now?" Jiang Chen took the microphone. Gazing at Xiang Yi, who was in the audience, he said sincerely, "At this moment, I want to thank my sister the most." Chapter 949. Host. She was dumbfounded but still maintained her standard smile. The next second, she saw the delicate-looking teenager bow towards a certain direction below the stage. "Sister Xiangyi, thank you. You're the one who made me reborn." Immediately, a teammate snatched the microphone from him. You're breaking the rules, we agreed to thank her together. No, I have to thank my sister Xiangyi too. The others followed suit, and for a moment, the entire venue echoed with the words, "Thank you, my sister Xiangyi." There was a burst of good-natured laughter, and the camera cut to a close-up of Xiangyi. The girl's eyebrows curved into crescents as she waved at the teenagers on the stage. The C7 boys were extremely excited. They were truly grateful to Xiangyi. Without Xiangyi, there would not be today's C7. It was Xiangyi who reignited their group spirit and gave them a stage again. Before stepping off the stage, the boys shouted the slogan that they had rehearsed countless times in unison and loud. "Come on, sister. You'll definitely win an award." The young and lively teenagers, although still very childish, were particularly moving. Some of the audience couldn't help but tear up. The C7 boys are too good. Those who call them ungrateful should shut up. They really remember how good Xiangyi is. Then, it was time for the news program awards. After several awards were given, another guest came on stage to perform. This time, it was Zhou Yan, who was known as the legendary singer in the industry. To everyone's surprise, the piano accompaniment was Su Rindong. One of them was wearing a wine-red sequined suit and was the focus of the crowd as usual. The other was wearing a low-key gray suit and sat quietly in front of the piano. His expression was indifferent, but when his eyes met Zhou Yan's, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. The melodious sound of the piano and the clear voice produced a magical chemical effect. The netizens exclaimed, "What kind of godly collaboration is this?" Similarly, when the two were interviewed by the host, they said similar words to the C7 boys. "Thank you, Brother E, for introducing us to the doctor. My ears have recovered a lot, and Dong Dong is in great condition too," Su Rindong whispered, "Don't call me Dong Dong." Zhou Yan made a face at him, as if time had not left any traces on his character, and he was still that childish brat. Su Rindong shook his head helplessly. This interaction became a must-have for fans to edit their fan videos, and then, the guests were the famous director Yan, the veteran actress Yin Jiangxue, Mama Yin, the best actress Zhong Yi, the artist Tian Ji, the starlet Su Tumi, and so on. Some were the guest presenters, while others were the guest performers. Everyone expressed their gratitude to Xiangyi. In the live stream, is Sister Yi's commendation ceremony tonight? Xiangyi is really a little princess that everyone dotes on. Everyone is actually helping her fight against public opinion. That #1 paparazzi is really annoying. Whoa, everyone is fine. They're probably worried that the judges won't give Sister Yi, Shuringdi, and the others an award because of the leak. Sigh, I hope the results won't be affected. It was close to 8 o'clock, but the variety show awards had yet to be presented. Everyone immediately understood that the program team had postponed it. However, everyone was also worried that the #1 paparazzi would not keep his promise and delay the release of the leak. In the blink of an eye, it was 8 o'clock sharp. The #1 paparazzi stuck on the dot and updated his big news. Just as he had predicted, the Weibo server was paralyzed in just a few minutes. Chapter 950. Paparazzi #1 v. A certain couple of top stars in a variety show who fell in love and got engaged are suspected to be having sex overseas. This boy and girl are their children. Along with the Weibo post, there were 2 photos of the cute babies. The netizens were stunned. These 2 little buns actually looked like Shui and Xiangyi. In the photo, there was a boy and a girl. The girl was standing, holding a lollipop that was bigger than her face, while the boy was sitting on the ground. His height couldn't be seen clearly, but because he was pale and thin, he looked about the same age as the girl. Hence, the netizens went crazy. "Oh, no, there's too much to say. Aw, so it's a boy and a girl twins." CP fans still have the cheek to say that. Sex is illegal. This little girl looks like she's 4 or 5 years old. At that time, Xiangyi was still underage, right? Shui got together with her. Ah, I knew it. Variety shows have scripts. A bunch of people keep criticizing me. Do you really believe in love at first sight? Then, they slowly developed feelings for each other on the show. Anyway, I don't believe it. The scriptwriter must have written the script in advance, and the two of them acted according to the script. They must have been together long ago. Maybe Shui even violated an underage girl. I suggest a strict investigation. If you don't stand upright, you'll lose your virtue. Do things with talent and do things with virtue. How can we let such an artist continue to earn our money? Do you think we're leaks? The netizens' reactions were like a prairie fire, burning wantonly. Countless people saw the photo and immediately started criticizing. The judges of the Golden TV Awards immediately started voting. Those who agree to the award, write 1 on the slip of paper. Those who disagree, write 2 on the slip of paper. If it's blank, it'll be considered a waiver. Soon, the results of the voting were out. 2 abstained, 6 disagreed, and 13 agreed. The conference room was silent, like the calm before a storm. Then, let's do it this way. Hurry up and inform everyone. The next second, a judge stood up. Wait a minute. The tables have turned. What tables? It's a foregone conclusion. Don't say anything else. Why? Are they going to explain that the child came out of Xiangyi's stomach? Wouldn't that be even more ridiculous? A 21-year-old girl giving birth to a 4 or 5-year-old child, which involves minors, is even worse. Bullshit. What do you mean by having children or not? That's definitely not Shui and Xiangyi's child. Do you think I'm wrong just because you say so? Wasn't the photo verified by a professional? The judge said bitterly, that's right. The photos are real. However, the 2 children in the photo were Shui and Xiangyi's childhood photos. It's a picture of them when they were young. The judges were speechless. Next up is the Best Creative Variety Award, and the winner is 2 Under One Roof. Congratulations. The guest presenter finished his speech and took the initiative to clap. Below the stage, the members of the small show program team were still quite calm. The value of this award wasn't too high. The most popular variety show and the most popular variety show guest were the highlight. Li Jianyu went on stage to receive the award. He had prepared a script in advance, so he didn't seem to be nervous. He even made a few jokes. Then, there were a few trivial awards, and then, most popular variety show, the drumbeats were rapid and stirred people's hearts. Congratulations to 2 Under One Roof. There was a wave of applause. Li Jianyu, who was still calm and composed just now, was stunned on the spot. Chapter 951. I've won an award. There was a lot of commotion around him. His mind, however, was completely blank. He could only feel his heartbeat pounding non-stop. His heart was about to jump out of his chest. Congratulations. Xiangyi's soft and smiling voice reached Li Jianyu's ears, and he suddenly came back to his senses. Wah, Li Jianyu howled loudly. It could be said that a fierce man was shedding tears. The camera panned over and recorded the scene of Li Jianyu throwing himself into Wanqing's arms and burying his head in agony, while Shui and Xiangyi looked at each other and smiled. The host joked, men are still young even in death. Indeed, they didn't lie. There was a burst of laughter at the scene. Li Jianyu was crying so hard that his tears and snot were flowing out. He sobbed and said, I'm sorry, I dirtied your dress, it's okay. Wanqing's smile was as beautiful as a flower. Just compensate me with 10 pieces later. Oh right, do you know the price of this dress? Ha! Li Jianyu thought, it's just a dress. How expensive can it be? Guanqing opened her red lips slightly and blurted out a number that made Li Jianyu's soul tremble. Li Jianyu was shocked. Li Jianyu stopped crying. He sniffled and was in a trance. Xiangyi handed him a tissue in time, but Li Jianyu was so stunned that he forgot to take it. Guanqing, who had been scaring Li Jianyu just now, was now carefully wiping his tears and snot with a tissue. Go ahead, it's an honor that belongs to you. You're the one who gave this grand miracle the starting point. Li Jianyu's nose turned sour as he grabbed her hand and said in a sobbing voice, it's not just mine, it's all of ours. In the live stream, countless people cried because of Li Jianyu's words. I'm so happy to cry. Sob, 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 everyone is so gentle. Two under one roof will always be a god. Director Li Jianyu will always be a god. The best director in the world, the best guest in the world, and the best little drama in the world. Red Heart, according to tradition, the most popular variety award would be received by the director. The host smiled and said, why don't we invite everyone from the program team to come up and receive the award together? As a loyal fan of Two Under One Roof, he was just being a little selfish. Thus, Li Jianyu, Guanqing, Xiangyi, Shi Sui, and the representatives from various departments went up the stage. Shi Sui gently pushed Li Jianyu to the front of the standing Mai. Li Jianyu was extremely nervous. He was no longer as calm and composed as when he had just won the award. He trembled as he patted the microphone, making a bang-bang sound. Hello, 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 the guests below the stage laughed, and so did the netizens in the live stream. This was their boss, Director Li. Li Jianyu opened his mouth and wanted to repeat the script he had prepared, but he couldn't remember a single word. He scratched his head. I forgot my lines. Everyone laughed even louder. Li Jianyu also giggled foolishly. Forget it then. There are many things in life that don't go your way. I won't get angry if others get angry, but no one will take their place if they get sick. I'm really, really honored to be able to win this award. On the day of my 19th birthday, I went to the TV station for an internship. At that time, I was wearing a work tag and I thought to myself, I must become a very good director in the future. Then, I felt that I was being ridiculous. How was that possible? Today, I finally have enough courage and confidence to tell my 19-year-old self that my dream has come true. Chapter 952. Li Jianyu raised the trophy and said, thank you to everyone who has helped me since the preparation of Two Under One Roof. Thank you to my Qingqing, thank you to Shi Sui, Sister Yi, and most importantly, thank you to the audience. Thank you, everyone. Li Jianyu bowed deeply to the audience. Xiangyi clapped her hands vigorously while Xiao Naofu imitated her and clapped with its paws. Shi Sui's eyes were gentle and her gaze remained fixed on the young girl. In front of the screen, the other nominated variety show staff members had complicated emotions in their eyes. They also wanted to go to the venue. However, the director's words of "you're not qualified" extinguished their hopes. At first, they felt that it was only right and proper that they weren't worthy. However, when they saw so many staff members of Two Under One Roof standing on stage and receiving the award together, they still felt they were envious. At the award ceremony, everyone got off the stage and the awards for production were presented. Several variety shows had won awards for music, special effects, art, and other categories. The traffic in the live stream was obviously much lower. When the award for the most popular male guest of the variety show began, the traffic instantly increased at an astonishing speed. It's coming. Ah, Shi Sui, go. Ha, Two Under One Roof has already won a heavyweight award. How can the judges give another heavyweight award? Even a fool would know that it was impossible. Brother Ing, you can do it. The most popular male guest must be you. Shui's scandal is still on the hot search list. The judges are so fair and impartial, they definitely won't trip up a band artist. Zai, you can do it. If you get an award today, you can look forward to it in the future. I'm dying of laughter. Tomato Entertainment and Sichuanbai's and Nan's managers have already clarified the matter regarding Shui and Xiangyi. Didn't you see that? Those two photos are of Shui and Xiangyi's childhood. It's obvious that they're just in a crisis. Shui and Xiangyi are 7 years apart, but in the photos, they look like they're the same age. Those statements are just to deceive fools like you. The live broadcast room was in an uproar. Fans from various families were attacking and tearing each other apart. It was a bloody scene. Shui's sister, who had always been known for her fighting prowess, was now extremely passive. She even posted sayings such as, "Don't be angry, Shui is not good enough," and "Shui is not worthy," which made the fans extremely confused. Could this be the legendary saying, "One who stays with ink will be stained black, and one who stays with rabbits will be Buddha"? In fact, many of the Shui sisters were very nervous. Although Shui's main profession was an actor, everyone wanted his first variety show to be recognized. The person who presented the award was a highly respected producer. He was the pioneer of domestic variety shows and had single-handedly created several popular shows. The producer opened the envelope and looked at the name on it. A rare smile appeared on his usually serious face. "I think this award is well-deserved and well-deserved. Of course, I've always believed that there's no difference in TV shows, and there's no winning or losing between guests. It's good to have competition. This way, the variety industry in China will get better. I believe that everyone already has an answer in their hearts. Everyone has their own most popular show in their hearts, and everyone has their own standards. Similarly, the National Television Program Awards also have a set of standards. Now, let me announce the winner of the Most Popular Male Guest in Variety Show award for the 6th National Television Program Awards." Countless people held their breaths. Some people prayed, some made wishes, and some closed their eyes. Amidst the silence, the producer shouted out a name. Shui. Chapter 953. In the live stream, "Oh, Shui is Shui. Shui is awesome. He won the Best Actor, and Best Variety Award. F***CK. Did he do it at the age of 10? Did he really do it? At the venue. The spotlight shone on Shui's head as the man in the black suit calmly adjusted his tie. Xiangyi was the first to applaud. The girl's eyes seemed to be filled with stars. There was light in his body and in her eyes. Xiao Naofu snorted and turned its little face away awkwardly. It wasn't happy for Shui at all, just a little. That D***MN man is actually quite impressive. Let's welcome Shui. The host cued the proceedings. Shui hugged Xiangyi first, then reluctantly shook hands with Xiao Naofu before going on stage. His black suit made his skin look even paler, his long legs were slender, and his body proportions were perfect. The lines of his handsome face were smooth and clear, and his tie was meticulously tied. The buttons on his shirt were buttoned all the way to the top, making him look incomparably ascetic. Yet, it made people want to rip off his tie and tear open his shirt. He shook hands with the leading producer in a graceful and courteous manner. The producer picked up the trophy from the tray of the hostess and handed it to Shui. Shui took it with both hands. "Congratulations." The producer smiled and patted him on the shoulder. "I hope you can bring more outstanding works in the future, whether it's movies, television shows, or variety shows." Shui thanked him. "Thank you to the judges and the organizers of today's awards. I'm honored to receive this award, and I'm also grateful for the choice I made back then. I'll work harder in the future. Thank you again, everyone." His acceptance speech was probably the most concise of the night. Several hosts heard the director's instructions through their headsets. They hurriedly stopped Shui before he left the stage. Shui, please wait. Shui paused. Ha! First of all, congratulations to Shuringdi for winning the award. Our live stream is still ongoing, and the audience is very curious about the childhood photos of you and Xiangyi. I wonder if you'd like to chat with us about it. Li Jianyu had shown them the melon just now, but no one took it seriously. The innocent knew that they were innocent and had a clear conscience. Shui, sure. With his permission, the director immediately arranged for someone to play the childhood photo on the big screen behind him. Wow, Sister Yi was so cute when she was young. Another host couldn't help but praise. The girl in the photo was fair and soft. She had 2 small buns on her head and was holding a huge lollipop in her hand. She was smiling brightly. Shui chuckled. Yes, very cute. There are some misunderstandings among the netizens, saying that this is the child of you and Sister Yi, because the two of you look, well, about the same age. What's going on? The viewers in the live stream were extremely excited. Ha ha ha, this is a large-scale melon eating scene. I'm really eating melons from all sides. The director is so good, so good. So is it really a child or not? I think it's ridiculous too. They're 7 years apart, but why do they look about the same age? Shui's gaze moved away from Xiangyi and landed on his childhood self. After a moment of silence, he said, when I was young, I encountered some very bad things. They're all old stories, so let's not talk about them. During my childhood, I was always skinny and smaller than my peers, and I often got sick. When this photo was taken, I was actually already 10 years old. After a pause, he said in a hoarse voice, every time I think about it, I hate myself at that time. Chapter 954. He was a pale, thin, and sickly young boy. He was powerless against everything in this world. He was always sick, always on medication, and always in therapy. In the beginning, he couldn't interact with people normally. Later on, he got better, but he still hated and even feared contact with women. There was only one person he wasn't afraid of. She had a nice nickname, Tutu. The little girl's life was the complete opposite of his. She was endlessly doted on, but also had a rare gentleness. She was always kind and always had a bright smile on her face. Every time they met, she would share the candy in her pocket with him. If he didn't want it, she would cry. If he did, she would cry too. But she would let him have the candy while crying. She was such a cute little bunny, just like the morning light. He hid in the darkness, unwilling to take a single step out of the shadows. Shui had thought that these words would remain a secret forever. He didn't expect that one day, he would slowly open up those scars of the past. The man spoke concisely, and in just a few words, he had finished talking about everything that had happened between him and Xiangyi when they were young. There were no flowery words or exaggerated rhetoric. After he finished speaking, he looked at Xiangyi, who was below the stage. The scene was very quiet, and occasionally, a few sobs could be heard. In the comments section of the live stream, the Shui sisters were about to faint from crying. Oh my god. So you've been through all this, boo-hoo. Shui will only smile when he talks about his little bunny. Shu Xia and Shu Yuan will never be clean. Why bring a child into this world if you don't raise him? Shui is so skinny. Sister Yi must have been well nourished at home. She looks as tall as a 4 or 5-year-old when she's 3 years old. Seriously, it's so sad. I hope all the children in the world can be loved. Below the stage. Xiangyi's eyes were red, but she held back her tears. She wondered if he would have had a different life if he had been born earlier and met Shui earlier. There's nothing to be sad about. Shui said gently on the stage. I just accumulated a lot of misfortune in exchange for good fortune. I just accumulated a lot of unhappiness in exchange for a beautiful one. Because of his words, more people couldn't help but cry. Fortunately, the young man met the little rabbit. Luckily, Shui met Xiangyi. Shui returned to her seat. Xiao Naofu curiously poked at the trophy and even bit it with its teeth, trying to confirm if it was made of pure gold. Her sad mood was dispelled a lot by its cute behavior. However, Xiangyi held his hand and whispered into his ear, "What's wrong with you? You have me in the future." Shui replied with a smile, "Yeah, I'll be in your life from now on." At this moment, no one was shouting about dog abuse. On the contrary, they felt that this scene was extremely healing. Next up is the most popular female guest of variety show. Let's welcome our guest presenter, Mr. Xiang Feng. Oh, so we met, Meet? Was it the Xiang Feng they knew? The netizens were confused. Even Xiangyi had a confused expression on her face. The host read out an introduction. Xiang Feng, a famous entrepreneur, collector, and angel investor, has invested in many domestic variety shows and has made outstanding contributions to our country's variety industry. The netizens were speechless. Is Xiang Feng really a tyrant? Chapter 955. Xiang Feng's appearance as the presenter made many people dumbfounded. Most people were amazed by how impressive Xiang Feng was, but there were also some fans of the other nominated women who began to stir up the crowd. Are you there? Are the judges playing games? How can a relative present an award ceremony? Isn't this shady? Our sister is so pitiful. It wasn't easy for her to be nominated, but in the end, she has to run into a royal like Xiangyi. I bet she can be guaranteed a spot even if she scored a few points. Some netizens who were less determined began to waver. After all, Xiangyi was also one of the nominees. It wouldn't be appropriate for her uncle to present the award, would it? In the next second, the host continued. The other presenter is the president of the Radio and Television Association, Madame Mu Jimu. There was an uproar at the venue. The viewers in the live stream were confused. Isn't she just a president? The guests are reacting too strongly. Soon, someone came out to explain. Oh my God! Everyone, wake up. This is not a private organization, it's an official organization. It can be said that all TV programs in the country have to be reviewed by them. It's unbelievable that such a big shot would actually come to present an award ceremony. Countless people were dumbfounded. At the same time, no one thought that there would be any shady dealings. No matter how impressive Xiang Feng was, could he have bribed the officials? What a joke. Madame Mu's arrival might not seem like much to the netizens, but in the eyes of the guests present, it was extremely shocking. In particular, the few variety show directors who had paid the internet water army to slander Shui and Xiangyi had all changed their expressions. Using public opinion to pressure them had already failed. They wanted to stir up trouble, but they had failed again. Their internet water army had been bought for nothing. Their money had been spent for nothing. A few of them wanted to cry, but they couldn't and had to force a smile. Yes, we're so happy and looking forward to the results. Look forward to my ass. Was there a need to guess who it was? On the stage. The big screen was playing the exciting performances of several nominated female celebrities in the variety show. When it came to the famous scenes of Xiangyi catching pigs, cooking, climbing trees, playing the sanxian, shooting arrows, curing diseases, and carrying goods, there were screams in both the live audience and the live stream. It could be said that other female celebrities had a hard time finding material, but Xiangyi was different. She had so much material that the staff in charge of post-production couldn't bear to delete even a second of it. They were practically in tears as they edited. Ladies first. Xiang Feng handed the envelope to Ms. Mu in a gentlemanly manner. Madame Mu smiled. Let's watch it together. The two of them opened the envelope and took out the card. Xiang Feng's expression was solemn. Madame Mu raised her eyebrows. Their reactions caused everyone's hearts to skip a beat. Now, let me announce that the winner of the most popular female guest in a variety show for the 6th National Television Awards is. Madame Mu deliberately paused and kept everyone in suspense. Her name is 2 words. Everyone. Among the nominees, there were 2 female celebrities with 2 characters in their names. One was Xiangyi, and the other was a female celebrity from a detective show. They were also very popular. I almost couldn't catch my breath. Please let me be free. The Great Detective is such a loss. It's a variety show from 2 years ago. Xiangyi won the award because she had an unfair advantage. Laughing at SKR, you're right because you're weak. Spacey Tutu is a Buddhist, but our Shui sister has a temper. Why don't you try being sarcastic again? The comments section of the forum fell silent. Amidst everyone's anticipation, Madame Mu announced clearly, the most popular female guest in a variety show, Xiangyi. It was as if the whole world fell silent for a moment. A moment later, there was a loud boom. Be it at the venue or on the internet, everyone exploded. Chapter 956. In front of the screen, the faces that were illuminated by the fluorescent light were all staring intently. When they heard the words Xiangyi, some screamed, some cheered, and some sat up excitedly. Some even opened the windows and roared, Sister E has won an award. In the live stream, the Spacey Tutu fans were already bawling their eyes out. Sister E is so outstanding. Our ZZ has worked hard. She deserves to be the most popular. The most popular female guest on a variety show, E. Our Xiang Yi is a fake. Shui's sisters also congratulated her. Wow, as expected of Sister E, that's great, that's great. What's going on? I'm more excited than Shui when he won the award, ha ha ha, congratulations, Sister E. You've won the most prestigious award in a variety show. You must continue to be flamboyant in the future. P.S. Remember to hold Shui's hand while walking. He's not fit to be the only one. At the venue, the spotlights shone on Xiangyi's head. She had exquisite eyebrows and her white dress made her look gentle and comfortable. She was the kind of person who would shine in the crowd. Hearing that she had won an award, Xiangyi smiled, but she still looked neither servile nor overbearing. After hugging Shui who was beside her, Xiangyi lifted the hem of her dress and got up calmly. She walked towards the stage, and the ordinary ground seemed to have turned into a flowery path. Behind her, there was a warm round of applause. Amidst the commotion, she remained calm and composed. After going on stage, Xiangyi leaned forward, nodded in greeting, and shook hands with Ms. Mu. As she moved, her long black hair fell down and she casually tucked it behind her ear. The camera zoomed in on her, revealing her perfect side profile. Her aura was between that of a clean and pure girl and a devastatingly beautiful woman. Just her hair alone was enough to make countless people fall for her. Oh, Tutu will definitely be a beauty when she grows up. She's super pretty now too. But I also think she'll look even better in a few years. Ah, I almost forgot. Not only am I a foodie fan, but I'm also a fan of pretty sisters' looks. With this face, I can finish 2 more bowls of rice. Madame Mu smiled and said, Miss Yang, thank you for letting more people understand the traditional culture of our country, such as gourmet food, sanxian, traditional Chinese medicine, farming, and so on. Your live streaming of goods has helped farmers in several counties to escape poverty by relying on agricultural products. You have also introduced Little Rabbit Farm's advanced farming technology. Not only did you treat the guests on the variety show with your medical skills, but you've also made an outstanding contribution to the epidemic in the Western continent. You're truly a medical sage. Also, you should sell our domestic products overseas so that people all over the world can understand, buy, and use our domestic products. You are truly bringing glory to our country. Miss Xiang, congratulations again on winning the award today. I wish you all the best in the future. Everything you ask for comes true, everything you walk is smooth, all you meet are good people, all you see are happy events, all you hear are good news. The chief director of the dispatch room was stunned. This long paragraph was not written in the script. So, Madame Mu is really praising Xiangyi. You flatter me, Xiangyi said modestly. Thank you for your blessings, and I wish you all the best. Madame Mu smiled. In the next second, Xiang Feng pounced on Xiangyi and hugged her while twirling around excitedly. Ahahaha, our Tutu is the world's #1 fan. No rebuttal. Chapter 957. Xiangyi, degree everyone. Mr. Xiang, have you forgotten about your domineering CEO persona again? How can the presenter spin around in circles at an award ceremony? This is ridiculous. Xiang Feng spun around several times before letting Xiangyi land on the ground. He chuckled and asked. Little Xiangyi, how do you feel? Are you very happy? The girl's milky white face looked serious. I feel a little dizzy. Xiang Feng rubbed his nose resentfully. The venue burst into laughter. The atmosphere in the live stream was also very harmonious. Ha ha ha, Xiang Feng is a man who doesn't play by the rules. I went to check on some software. Xiang Feng is really a domineering CEO. Actually, Xiang Feng is just a little silly, but he really dotes on Sister E. He personally came to present the award to Sister E, and he's even happier than Sister E receiving the award herself. Who wouldn't want to share the joy with their family members when they receive the award? Fortunately, the host managed to control the situation in time. Sister E, do you have any words for your acceptance? Xiangyi blinked and answered obediently, yes, I've prepared a lot. I hope Sister E doesn't forget her lines like Director Li did. The camera cut to Li Jinyu's face in time. He shrugged and revealed a helpless expression, which made countless people laugh. But soon, everyone's attention was attracted by the dazzling girl on the stage. She held the trophy in both hands, which were slender and soft. Thank you to the organizers, thank you to the judges, I'm very honored to receive this award. Thank you to all the viewers. It was your every click and comment that allowed Two Under One Roof to set countless records. This achievement and honor belong to all of us. Also, I want to thank Director Li Jinyu. It was your invitation that gave me a job when I was about to lose my job. It was your creativity that made this variety show more lively. It was your tolerance that allowed me to do whatever I wanted on the show. It was also you who gave me the opportunity to film a show with Shi Sui. The girl looked in the direction of Shi Sui with a sweet smile in her eyes. Shi Sui told me a secret, and I also want to share a secret with everyone. I have a crush on someone. From being young and ignorant to finally growing up, from being embarrassed to bravely chasing after her. He said that I am his light, but to me, every time I see him, I feel like the world is illuminated. There was a difference of 7 years between us. You were alive, but I wasn't. I had been trying my best to run forward, trying to catch up to that time, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't catch up. Finally, one day, I suddenly understood that 7 years was 7 years, and 7 years was only 7 years. We still have a future. Thank you. The moment he finished speaking, the scene became extremely quiet. However, in the live streaming room, the traffic had already reached its peak since the start of the broadcast. Knock. Kowtow. Ah, what kind of celestial confession is this? KSWL. Childhood sweethearts. They were secretly in love with each other. The double arrow of love. It's so untimely and sweet. Xiangyi nodded slightly in greeting. Just like when she went on stage, she was arrogant yet polite. She lifted the hem of her dress and gracefully stepped off the stage. She smiled and walked towards Shui. Shui got up and hugged the girl's slender waist. There were hundreds of people in the live streaming room and tens of millions of viewers. Shui kissed his little bunny. Chapter 958. It was a short and gentle kiss, but it attracted countless screams. Wah! Ah! Get married. I'll move the Civil Affairs Bureau here. The guests at the scene joked, and the netizens in the live stream went crazy. Friends. This is the kiss of the century. This is the kiss of the century. Wow, this is great. Shui's sister Yi has won an award. Shui, can you do it? Keep kissing her. You're not allowed to stop until you kiss her. Shui smiled faintly and ignored the teasing around him. He looked down and tidied up Xiangyi's skirt while taking over the chubby Xiaonaofu. The kitten was so angry that its cheeks turned into pufferfish. Xiaonaofu kicked Shui hard, trying to escape from his arms and into Xiangyi's arms. Shui casually said, "You're so chubby, Sister Yi will get tired carrying you." Xiaonaofu stopped struggling. It looked at Shui in disbelief. Meow. What did you say? This hoo-hoo is not fat hoo-hoo. Shui thought for a moment and changed his wording. What's wrong? Hugs can't satisfy our Xiaonaofu anymore. Does our Xiaonaofu want a kiss from her brother? Although all my kisses belong to Sister Yi, if our Xiaonaofu insists, I can reluctantly kiss you. Xiaonaofu was speechless. Woof woof woof. Even a dog wouldn't want a kiss from a dog like you. After the awards ceremony, the crowd dispersed one after another. Xiangyi and the others were chased by the reporters, who stopped them from leaving. The reporters had endless questions, but fortunately, Wan Qing was there to deal with them with ease. She avoided the tricky questions with Tai Chi techniques, but at the same time, she didn't leave the reporters with nothing to write about. Until someone asked a question that completely stumped Wan Qing. Will Miss Ruan marry Director Li? Her ears turned red, and her red lips pursed. She didn't know what to say. Li Jianyu hugged her and said with a smile, "Marriage is the most important thing arranged by the heavens." As soon as he opened his mouth, the reporters immediately asked, "Director Li, is there going to be a second season of Too Bad?" That's right, that's right. A lot of viewers are looking forward to it. Are they already preparing for it? After all, Two Under One Roof is now a national variety show. Li Jianyu rubbed his chin and pondered for a while. Well, let nature take its course, let nature take its course. A reporter keenly caught the main point. If you don't deny it, does that mean you're admitting it? Li Jianyu, that depends on whether Shui and Sister Yi are available. Everyone's eyes lit up as they focused their attention on Shui and Xiangyi. Shurangdi, Sister Yi, will you be participating in the second season of Little Broken? Shui, it's always the two of us. The audience will probably get tired of it. Xiangyi agreed. Yeah. The reporters. So there's going to be a second season. We'll definitely make the headlines tomorrow. No way. We definitely won't get tired of it. A reporter shouted excitedly. Realizing that he had lost his composure, he said awkwardly, "I'm sorry, I'm a hardcore fan of Little Broken. I've been following it since the first live broadcast." Xiangyi and Shui faced each other. Xiangyi asked with a smile, "Do you want to participate?" Shui chuckled. "It's my honor." Xiang Yi's smile was bright and full of vitality. She waved at everyone. Then, see you in the second season. At the same time, Two Under One Roof updated their Weibo account frowny-face Two Under One Roof V at everyone. Two Under One Roof is preparing for the second season. I'm meeting with Jun Xiang today. Red heart. End of text. The following text was free. Henwan's words, it started with a variety show and ended with a variety show winning an award. Nuan feels that this ending is very satisfying. Of course, due to the limitations of my writing skills, there are still some foreshadowing that hasn't been explained, and I want to satisfy the various plots that everyone wants to see, such as Shui and Xiangyi's married life, untimely movie, Xiao Naofu and Little Shiji, etc., so there will be extra chapters. 1 chapter was updated in the morning and 3 chapters were updated tonight, so it's still 4 chapters today. It's expected to be updated on the evening of January 27th. Good night, I'm begging you for monthly votes. Chapter 959. Cut. As director Mu Si shouted, the filming was paused. Mu Si was a talented Chinese director. His films had accumulated more than 10 billion yuan at the box office and he had fans all over the world. At this moment, he had chosen to film his new film in Nanjing. In the middle of a seemingly endless bamboo forest, there was a small Taoist temple. The building was antique and contrasted with the bamboo forest behind it. It was quite artistic. Thank you for your hard work, everyone. Please take a 10-minute break before continuing. As soon as Mu Si finished speaking, the actors went back to take a break under the sun umbrella. The assistants went over with fans and drinks while the makeup artists went to touch up their makeup. Mu Si didn't even bother to watch the replay just now. He paced back and forth. She's not here yet. The assistant director was also Chinese and had a good relationship with him. He laughed and said, soon. Didn't you just talk to Sister E half an hour ago? She said she would be here soon. Speak of the devil. A low-key black business car stopped by the roadside. The door opened and a young man in a white exercise suit got out of the car. He carried a peachwood sword on his back and was Xu Xinglan, who treated his sword as his wife. Next was Shi Sui in sportswear. It was black, white, and gray. He didn't look 27 years old at all. Instead, he looked like a male college student. The girl who got out of the car behind him had a slim figure. She was slim but not too skinny. She was in a simple and youthful sportswear with a short-sleeved shirt and shorts. It was a matching outfit with Shi Sui's. She looked sweet and suave when she moved. Sister E. Director Mu Si walked up quickly, his face full of excitement. Xiangyi waved at him and smiled. Long time no see. You're finally here. I've been looking forward to seeing you here. The assistant director also came over and coughed lightly to remind Mu Si. Mu Si reacted and quickly corrected himself. I've been looking forward to seeing you here. Shi Sui smiled and didn't take it to heart. Xu Xinglan didn't have any objections either. His eyes were fixed on the prop rack not far away. Mu Si was an internationally renowned director. He had invested hundreds of millions in this new film. The costumes were not something ordinary movies could compare to. The props master had spent a lot of effort just to get the weapons on the shelf. There were antiques from private collectors, famous swords forged by contemporary Chinese masters, and even the heirloom of a martial arts family that had been passed down for hundreds of years. Xu Xinglan's reaction did not escape director Mu Si's eyes. Mu Si smiled. Do you want to go and take a look? Can I? Of course you can. Go and pick one that's handy. You'll need it for your next shoot. Xu Xinglan. The young boy's eyes lit up as he rushed towards the prop rack. Wife, I'm here. But sometimes, having too many choices is also a kind of trouble. Ah, I want to use this, I want to use this too. Which was prettier, his wife or concubine? Everything was beautiful, he didn't want to make a choice. He just wanted everything. Looking at the young boy's lost expression, everyone couldn't help but laugh. Mu-Si was pleased and said, "That's great. He fits the role of the sword fanatic in the script perfectly. By the way, Sister E, do you know any set of sword skills? Can I show it to the martial arts instructor? This way, I can better design your martial arts moves." Xiangyi fell into deep thought. Seeing that she didn't speak, Mu-Si comforted her. "It's okay. I know that you mainly focus on actual combat. It's normal that you don't know those kinds of performances." Xiangyi shook her head. "No, I'm just thinking about which set to show." Mu-Si. "So not only do you know, but you also know more than one set." Chapter 960. Mu-Si tried to sound her out. "We're going to take a photo shoot today. Why don't you do your hair and makeup, and we can see how you look?" Xiangyi was very cooperative. "Okay. You and Shui can go to the makeup room first. I'll see you later." Although it was said that it would take a while, the makeup and hair of an actress was a long process. It took 3 hours for the makeup artist and stylist to dress up Xiangyi, but they still felt that it was not perfect enough. It took more than an hour just to put on the eye makeup. But the result was stunning enough. When Xiangyi reappeared in the bamboo forest, the previous shoot had just ended. The girl seemed to have a magical power, and everyone's attention was drawn to her. The girl was wearing a red and white striped dress, and her hair was tied up into 2 small buns. Her makeup was exquisite, especially her eye makeup. The makeup artist deliberately put in a lot of effort to delineate Xiangyi's doe eyes into a more youthful and round shape. A crimson flower was drawn between her eyebrows, and small sequins were pasted on the corners of her eyes. She looked like a beautiful girl who had walked out of a manga. Mu-Si only took one look at her appearance and couldn't stop praising her. "Oh, amazing. You're so beautiful, so beautiful." Shui was sitting beside him. The man had changed into a 3-piece British-style suit and put on a pair of retro gentlemanly glasses. As he turned his eyes, the thin golden chain of the glasses swayed in the air in a mesmerizing arc. Shui looked calm, but in fact, his Adam's apple was moving. At this time, Xiangyi was like a piece of white and sticky rice cake, wrapped in sweet red bean paste filling. "It was a very delicious feeling," Mu-Si said. "Pick a sword first." Xiangyi walked to the prop rack and glanced around. She seemed to have casually chosen the most ordinary long sword. The hilt of the sword was black, and the blade looked gray. It seemed that the blade had not even been cut. It made one wonder if it could even cut a piece of tofu. A look of disdain flashed across the props artist's eyes. She was really a vase. How could someone who didn't even know how to pick a sword make a good movie? She looked delicate and weak, and obviously didn't have much strength. She should have chosen a light and flashy sword, such as the gem-studded short sword. But she actually chose a sword that weighed as much as 5 kilograms. This was the heavy sword used by the Western Knight and Zhong Kai. Swords were meant to be light and graceful. If she were to hold a heavy sword, she probably wouldn't even be able to swing it, let alone film. The next second, the girl picked up the long sword easily and threw it casually. "Oh, it feels good." The props artist. Did he remember wrongly? That was actually a plastic sword. Most girls would be able to pick up something that weighed 5 kilograms, but he had never seen someone throw it so easily. At the same time, the martial arts director to his disciples to be honest with himself. "You're Xiangyi." The martial arts director looked to be in his early 50s. He was not tall and slightly plump, but he was very energetic. His eyes were as sharp as an eagle's. "Nice to meet you. I'm He Chuxing." Xu Xinglan's eyes widened. "Grandmaster He." He was an existence that everyone in the martial arts world worshipped. Xiangyi greeted him politely. "Hello, Mr. He, don't talk nonsense. Let's see how good you are. Let me say this first. If you cry later, I won't show you any mercy. Let me see how good you are." "Grandmaster," he said directly, "I'll stand still and let you make 3 moves." Xiangyi, that's not necessary. Chapter 961. Grandmaster, he frowned and said, "Let's begin." Seeing that he was insistent, Xiangyi did not decline and changed to a wooden sword. "Grandmaster," he scoffed. "Little girl, you don't need to change to a wooden sword. It'll be difficult for you to hurt me." Xiangyi said gently, "After all, swords have no eyes. Safety first. It's not just about our safety. It'll be bad if I accidentally hurt someone else." Grandmaster, he thought about it and felt that it made sense. His impression of Xiangyi immediately improved. This little girl was quite considerate and had a good temper. Xiangyi cupped her hands. "Senior, sorry for the offense." Mu Si was speechless. "Wait a minute. Grandmaster He, I asked you to design the moves, not to bully Sister E." Mu Si was on the verge of tears. Grandmaster, he was a real martial artist. He could easily beat up 10 adult men. What if something happens to Xiangyi later? However, the two of them were already in a fighting stance. Mu Si's hair stood on end and he nudged Shi Sui with his elbow. "Why don't you try to persuade him? Let Sister E act coquettishly and give in. Grandmaster, he won't make things difficult for her." Shi Sui said calmly, "I believe in her." Mu Si was going crazy. "Aren't you afraid that Sister E will be bullied? How can there be a girlfriend like you? She knows her limits." Mu Si was speechless. Trembling, he started to roll up his sleeves, ready to save Xiangyi at any time. Grandmaster, he put his hands behind his back and closed his eyes. A gust of wind blew past, and his white beard and hair moved with the wind. He looked like a peerless master in a wuxia novel. Xiangyi held a sword in her left hand, which made the prop master roll his eyes again. Most people in China had a right-hand dominant hand, which was stronger and more agile. However, Xiangyi had to use her left hand. Wasn't this adding insult to injury? This little vase was probably going to cry and beg for mercy soon. Xiangyi brandished her sword beautifully. Just as everyone was about to cry out, they saw the girl attack Grandmaster He at a speed that was difficult for humans to react to. Everyone was thinking the same thing. Although the speed was fast, this level of attack was definitely nothing to Grandmaster He. Swish, the wind whistled sharply. Before the crowd could see clearly, Grandmaster He actually took a step back. Instantly, Grandmaster He opened his eyes and looked at Xiangyi in surprise. Xiangyi stopped in time and asked innocently, "Shall we continue?" Grandmaster He's face was dark and gloomy. "Let's continue." With a loud voice, Grandmaster He drew a wooden sword from the side. Cries of surprise could be heard all around. Didn't Grandmaster He say that he would give Xiangyi 3 moves? How could he go back on his word? Could it be that he was getting old and forgetful? Or could it be that move just now made him realize that Xiangyi didn't need him to go easy on her? The latter was simply too inconceivable, and no one dared to believe it. The next duel between the two could be said to be thrilling. There were no flashy moves, not even superfluous movements. The old man and the young girl were like soldiers on an ancient battlefield, fighting with their lives on the line. They fought with the simplest and most ruthless moves. 2 ordinary wooden swords, but it was even more shocking than a real sword and saber duel. It was so fast that the eyes of ordinary people couldn't catch it. Bang! After the 2 swords collided again, Xiangyi took a few steps back, but Grandmaster He stood firmly on the spot. The little vase had lost. It was as expected. Just as the props master had a gloating smile on his face, he saw the wooden sword in Grandmaster He's hand shatter. Chapter 962. The wooden sword broke. How much strength did that take? Before everyone could react, they heard Xiangyi say, "Senior, thank you for letting me win." Why does it feel weird when Xiangyi says thank you for letting me win? Isn't that what the winner would say? Yeah, she clearly took a few steps back, but Grandmaster He didn't even take a single step back. The sword broke probably because of the quality of the sword. I think Grandmaster He was letting her win. She's still too young and doesn't have any foresight. She really thinks she won. Her EQ is worrying. Many of the crew members were brought over directly from abroad by Mu Si. Recently, they had been so busy that they didn't have time to watch the live broadcast. Hence, they didn't know about Xiangyi's performance in Two Under One Roof and thought that she was just a Chinese female celebrity who only had a pretty face. Something that no one had expected had happened. Grandmaster He sighed and said, "Young lady, He Chuxing, have never been convinced by anyone in my life, but today, I'm really convinced by you. I'm sincerely convinced that I lost to you. You held back, didn't you?" In other words, he felt that Xiangyi didn't use her full strength and was holding back. Xiangyi smiled and didn't continue, giving Grandmaster He enough face. Grandmaster He understood and stopped pretending to be a senior. He cupped his hands towards Xiangyi, which was a return to Xiangyi for her previous bow. In the martial arts world, the one who has reached the top first. Little girl, don't call me senior anymore, just call me old He. Senior, that's not appropriate, then, why don't you call me Grandpa He? Sigh, my son is disappointing, he hasn't given me a granddaughter yet. The Li family, the Xing family, and the Yu family next door, when his beautiful and soft little granddaughter called him Grandpa so sweetly, he was so envious that he almost had a disease. Xiangyi smiled and said, "Hello, Grandpa He." Grandmaster He changed his serious expression and said with a kind smile, Hey, granddaughter, come, let's have a good chat. I think that move you used just now is very suitable for the movie. Then, the actors in the same scene can use it. Do you think it's appropriate? Why don't you give me some more guidance? No, I should be the one learning from you. The two of them chatted happily, gesticulating as they talked. It was very harmonious. Everyone else was dumbfounded. Not only did Grandmaster He admit defeat, but he also acknowledged a relative as well as a teacher. This was too illogical. The prop master was even more dumbfounded. At this time, he still didn't know that the petite Asian girl in front of him had an innate passive skill. It's a 100% face-slapping halo. Don't court death, otherwise you'll be beaten. Mu Si was in a trance for a while. The way she looked at Shui had changed. Oh God, this man was not a gigolo, nor was he a weakling. He had a pair of eyes full of wisdom. Even if Mount Tai collapses in front of him, his expression will not change. Even if the elk rises to the left, his eyes will not blink. To see the truth of things through hidden corners, to see the essence of things through appearances. Mu Si gave Shui a thumbs up. She had unknowingly changed the way she addressed him. Brother, you are like this. Shui was confused. What did he do? Didn't he just admire Sister Yi's beauty for a while? Oh, after the filming was over, it was time to produce the limited edition Tutu Cutie series. Posters, billboards, stickers, pillows, postcards. He had to arrange for all of them. He also had to continue hiding his identity as the #1 spicy Tutu fan. Chapter 963. Xiangyi and Grandmaster He chatted for a long time, and as they chatted, they even pulled Director Mu into a discussion. Miss Zhang's character has a light and agile style, but we can still use a few moves to show her strength. This way, the audience will be even more shocked when they watch it in the theater. Musi only felt that her inspiration was endless. She had already thought of several ways to use the camera and edit the scene to create Miss Zhang's plot. However, the real effect would still have to be done with the choreography and the special effects after filming. Xiangyi and Grand Master He gestured a few moves and suddenly thought of something. Like this. After the first wave of movement, we can use the sword to pick up the stones and smash them on the ground or trees. Ha ha ha, young lady, I'm afraid we'll have to use special effects to achieve that. In the next second, the seemingly weak and delicate girl picked up a stone with the tip of her sword and suddenly exerted force on her wrist. The stone smashed into the sea of bamboos with a bang. A bamboo as thick as a cup broke with the sound, and when it fell, it bent a few other bamboos. Is this okay? Musi. Grand Master He. Other people added special effects in post-production, but Sister Yi did it manually. The staff at the side heard the commotion and looked over, and they were all stunned. Kung Fu, this is Chinese Kung Fu. Is this really a standard that humans can achieve? Oh my God, how can a sword pick up a stone? Is this really in accordance with Newtonian mechanics? Musi opened her mouth wide. Sister Yi, how did you do it? Xiangyi was puzzled. Is this very difficult? Actually, it doesn't require much strength. It's just a trick. If you use scientific theory to explain it, it's probably the lever theorem and the parabolic equation. Everyone. Is it okay to use science to explain metaphysics? Stop acting. We all know that you have inner strength. In an instant, all kinds of small groups formed at the scene. The rumors went from Sister Yi has pure inner strength to did you know that Sister Yi has magical power to oh my God, that Asian girl has mysterious magic. It was a large-scale scene of rumor spreading. After Grandmaster He set the martial arts movements, Xiangyi and Xu Xinglan immediately went to train. Director Mu Si sat on her personal stool, holding the blunderbuss in her arms. She was in a daze. His feelings were very complicated. It could be summarized as #mom, everything written in wuxia novels is real. What should I do? Sister Yi is so powerful that I can't even spend money on special effects #am I worthy? Do I really deserve Sister Yi to shoot my movie? Whoa the photographer's voice interrupted his thoughts. Director Mu, I've finished taking Sister Yi's makeup photos. Ha! Aren't we supposed to wait until she and Xinglan are done with their training? The photographer chuckled and handed the camera over to Director Mu as if he was presenting a treasure. From the moment Sister Yi appeared, to her duel with Grand Master He, to the moment when she picked up the stone and broke the bamboo, I recorded it all. Mu Si's eyes fell on the camera screen. His team was the best in the world, and the photographer's skills were impeccable. He had captured Xiangyi's beauty completely. The two-dimensional girl in the bamboo forest, her figure and afterimages during the duel, the best shot was the moment when the girl picked up the stone with her sword. Strength and beauty, softness and toughness, were vividly displayed at this moment. It could be called art. Chapter 964. Mu Si's pupils dilated. Is there even a need to shoot this? It was many times better than those styled photos that were deliberately made to look concave. He even wanted to use her as a poster for the movie. Oh God, meeting her was the luckiest moment of my life, the photographer agreed. She does have her own unique beauty, which is unique in this world. Mu Si nodded. The two of them praised Xiangyi to each other and felt that their relationship had deepened. As long as you like Sister Yi too, we'll be good friends for life. At 8:00 that night, the production team of Martial Arts updated several sets of styled photos on both domestic and foreign platforms. They were of Shi Sui, Xiangyi, and Xu Xinglan. Xu Xinglan's photo was clean and refreshing. He was dressed in a white training suit with a black belt tied around his waist. The young man stood with a sword in his hand, his eyes clear. In the comments section, everyone praised him for being an adorable younger brother. In the film, Shui played a noble who tracked down a mysterious martial arts organization in order to uncover the mysterious death of his younger brother. He was filming indoors. In the extravagant and luxurious room, the man was holding an autopsy book in his hand. His gold-rimmed glasses made him look like a refined scum. This photo had both the arrogance and gentlemanly aura of a noble, as well as the maturity of an adult man. The comments on social media sites were all crazy. "Ah, the child in my belly can call me daddy, hubby. Shui's eyes are really as deep as the ocean. One look at them and you'll be immersed in a story. I'm so surprised. I thought that director Mu wouldn't be able to find another male lead like George. After all, George is a real noble, but I didn't expect him to bring us such a surprise again." The one with the most shares and likes was Xiangyi's styled photo. The vast sea of bamboo stretched as far as the eye could see, and the scene was distant. The sword in the girl's hand left after images in the air as the tip of her sword lifted up a stone. Her body was full of explosive power, but her face was extremely exquisite. Her twin buns were exquisite and adorable, and her eyes were unbelievably beautiful, as if they were filled with water. This photo quickly gained countless fans. "Ah, Sister E is so adorable. Kawaii. She's like a beautiful girl from a manga. Is this really just a supporting role? Director Mu C, add more scenes for me." Xiangyi's makeup photos received countless compliments, but it was inevitable that some people would criticize her. It was mainly about Xiangyi's acting. Can she act well? Since her debut, she hasn't been able to produce any decent works. Is she planning to let the foreign netizens glare at her? You've embarrassed yourself overseas. My bad habit of feeling embarrassed is acting up again. That's right, apart from variety shows, does she have any other representative works? The Xianxia TV series in which Xiangyi and Shui had acted as guest stars started airing, as if it was meant to slap these people in the face. The plot of this drama was mainly about the male lead leveling up and getting into a relationship with the female lead. Shui played the role of the white celestial hidden in the ring of the male lead. She didn't have many scenes, but the moment she appeared, the bullet screen exploded. There was no other reason, his looks were too good. He was dressed in a white robe with wide sleeves and cold eyes. He was the most handsome person in the entire drama. Xiangyi played the role of a little vixen. The director deliberately put their scenes in the first 2 episodes. Before the second episode was even aired, the number of views had already exceeded 100 million. Chapter 965. This was a sign that the drama was going to be a hit. Everyone in the Xianxia drama was so excited that they kept sending red packets to the group chat. The female lead was the only one who remained silent. Everyone knew in their hearts that she was probably upset. This drama was adapted from a web novel with the male lead as the female lead had very few scenes. She only appeared for a few minutes in the first 2 episodes, which was even shorter than Xiangyi's. What made the female lead even angrier was that when she watched the drama, she found that everyone was praising Xiangyi for her appearance. "I'm here for Sister E. Time to check it out, the gentle Xiangyi of the world, the cute little vixen. Oh my god, this little vixen is so cute. Sharing half of her inner core with the male lead is so sweet, I can't take it anymore." It wasn't easy for her to appear in the plot, but there were very few comments on the screen, and the reviews were mediocre. Is this the female lead? She's so ugly, her acting skills are a so-so. Are there no other actresses in the entertainment industry who can stand out? How can she be the female lead with such looks? It's okay. It's mainly because Shui and Sister E have raised the standard of this drama's attractiveness standards. The others seem mediocre. In the high-end apartment, the female lead screamed hysterically. She turned on her phone and realized that the director and the male lead had all sent her WeChat messages. "Xiaoyu, you'll have more scenes in the future. The first 2 episodes have more scenes with Shui and Xiangyi, which was carefully considered. Their popularity will bring more attention to our drama. Don't worry, Shui will be the only one who will have a few more scenes. Xiangyi won't have any at all. Yeah, don't be upset. The director and the others are doing this for our drama's sake. Besides, the popularity is so high now, which means that our drama may not only become popular, but also become a hit. When the time comes, our pay will also increase. Smile. Pan Yu gritted her teeth. What do you know? She would rather not have Xiangyi's popularity. She didn't want to be compared to them either. It was just a variety show, but it actually cleared Xiangyi's name. Last year, she had acted in a movie with Xiangyi, and her acting skills had been unbearable. Pan Yu opened Weibo and habitually looked at the top of the hot search. The dazzling hashtag Xiangyi's makeup photo hashtag stung her eyes. She continued reading and saw that Get was ranked 2nd. The male lead's entry was ranked 5th, but there was no mention of her at all. The hatred in Pan Yu's eyes deepened. She searched her phone for a long time and finally found a video. A cold smile appeared on her red lips as she sent the video to all the major gossip marketing accounts. Not only did she post it within the country, but she also posted it overseas. The next day, as soon as Xiangyi arrived on set, she noticed that all the crew members were looking at her strangely. The young girl frowned, somewhat puzzled. Mu Si greeted her. Sister Yi, you can go and put on your makeup first. All right. Xiangyi went to the makeup room. As usual, it took a long time for her to put on her makeup. She was about to take out her phone when Nan immediately took out a tablet and asked carefully, Hey, do you want to watch a movie? Or watch a variety show? Xiangyi stared at him for a few seconds. What happened? Nan retorted, Nothing. Then why aren't you with Mr. C? Haven't the two of you been inseparable recently? Nan's ears turned slightly red. There's nothing between the two of us. While he was trying to explain himself, Xiangyi tapped on the screen of her phone. Chapter 966. After skimming through the video, Xiangyi roughly knew what had happened. Actually, it was quite simple. When she was being raped, she acted in an idol drama and had more than 20 NGs on set. Someone from the same crew had secretly recorded the video and it had now been uploaded on social media sites both at home and abroad. Now, many people were protesting to Mu Si and demanding that she be replaced immediately. Otherwise, they would boycott the drama. Replace her. Immediately. With such acting skills, wouldn't she be a burden to the entire crew? I watched the Xianxia drama yesterday. Her acting skills are only at the level of a silly girl. Director Mu's movies have always been classy and realistic. Is her acting skills good enough? I will never accept Xiangyi acting in Director Mu's movie. If Director Mu insists on using her, I won't contribute a single cent to the box office when the movie is released. The Spacey Tutu fans, who had always been passive, also stepped forward to try and explain things for her. The Shui sisters, on the other hand, were in charge of communicating with the fans and scolding them whenever they saw an idiot. Seeing the fans being scolded for her, Xiangyi frowned. Seeing this, Nan pressed his hand against his forehead. Oh no, they still found out. Sister Yi, it's nothing. Who would buy a dark history? When I was looking for a job, I submitted thousands of resumes. Once, I finally got into an interview and accidentally sat on the interviewer's chair. At that time, I felt like dying, Nan persuaded. Xiangyi said, It's nothing, they're just doing it because they like Director Mu's movies. From the perspective of those people, it was normal that they didn't trust her. She was lucky enough to be liked by some people, but that didn't mean that everyone in the world had to like her. However, she didn't care about those who didn't like her, but she didn't want those who liked her to be hurt because of her. The girl closed her eyes. and when she opened them again, she was back to her usual calm and composed self. However, Nan felt that there was something different about his dear girl. Have you guys seen that NG video? It's so eye-catching. If she's so bad at acting, why does she have to act in a movie? She can just be an internet celebrity and make money. Sho, keep your voice down, she's coming. Amidst the whispers from every corner, Xiangyi appeared. She didn't have many scenes in the movie, but the plot was very important. It could be said that she was a supporting role that pushed the whole movie forward. Today's scene was the first time she met the male lead played by Shi Sui. The set was ready, and the Taoist temple was crowded with extras. Everyone first checked their positions twice. After ensuring that there were no mistakes, Mu Si gave an order. Action! The lens approached from afar, pushing from the sea of bamboo to the entrance of the Taoist temple. The bodyguard, who was wearing white gloves and black sunglasses, opened the car door respectfully. Austin, who was played by Shi Sui, got out of the car with a lazy look on his face. He was playing with a lighter in his hand. The flame danced on his fingertips, but it didn't hurt him at all. "Where's Miss Zhang?" "She's waiting for you." The camera followed the man's line of sight. It passed through the old but charming door and landed in the courtyard surrounded by incense. Under the lush 100-year-old ginkgo, the sunlight passed through the branches and leaves, sprinkling mottled light spots. The girl carrying the cello case suddenly turned her head and met Austin's eyes. The camera zoomed in and used a close-up to capture the changes in the girl's micro-expressions. Miss Zhang raised her eyebrows and stared at Austin with great interest. She sized him up from head to toe, and in the end, she whistled lightly. "You're mine now." Begging for a monthly vote, duck kiss 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 him going to make snail noodles. Good night. Chapter 967. Everyone at the scene held their breaths. They could only vaguely hear the faint sound of the machine running. Literary scenes were actually more difficult to act out than martial arts scenes. The scene between Austin and Miss Zhang seemed to be a scene where the girl approached Austin step by step, flirting without realizing it. However, there was a hidden meaning in their conversation. "Since Miss has no intention of cooperating, then forgive me for not accompanying you," the man's languid voice fell. The next second, he took out a gun and aimed it at Miss Zhang. At the same time, the girl drew her sword. The sharp blade reflected the snowy light and the tip of the sword was pressed against Austin's clear throat. The bodyguard at the side was on high alert. However, the two of them were at ease. Austin was even in the mood to joke. "Do you think your sword can be faster than my gun?" The girl squinted her eyes and smiled like a sly fox. "You can try." The stalemate lasted for 1 second, 2 seconds. Although everyone at the scene knew that the two of them were just using props and acting in a movie, they still couldn't help but feel nervous. The sense of immersion was too strong. Behind the camera, Mu Si stared at the two of them without blinking. Every frown and every smile. Every line and every micro-expression was just right. A little more would be too much, and a little less would be too little. This was the feeling he wanted. Not far away, a supporting actor rang the bell. The two of them raised their eyebrows. "Let's form an alliance." "Alliance?" "Yes, but I feel I will be betrayed at any time." "Aren't you the same?" The two of them looked at each other and smiled. As if they had reached a tacit understanding, they stopped at the same time. Cut. Mu Si stood up excitedly. "Austin, Miss Zhang, come over here for a moment." After filming officially started, Mu Si would be deeply immersed in the plot and would often forget the actors' real names. He would call them by their names in the movie. Shi Sui and Xiangyi put away their props and walked towards him. The crew instantly broke out in cold sweat. They felt that Shi Sui acted very well. As for Xiangyi, well, there was nothing wrong with it. Unexpectedly, her acting wasn't as bad as that video where she had more than 10 NGs. On the contrary, it was quite lively. However, director Mu Si was known for his high standards. Would he think that Xiangyi's performance did not meet his expectations? Although Mu Si usually had a good temper, she had a sharp tongue when it came to scolding people. There was once a 2-meter-tall, burly male actor who was scolded by him on the spot until tears and snot ran down his face. He cried and shouted to call his mother. However, it was beyond everyone's expectations. When Mu Si caught Xiangyi, she began to praise her. Wonderful. Too wonderful. Miss Zhang, your performance just now was simply an act that reached the depths of one's soul. In the beginning, Austin and Miss Zhang didn't trust each other, but they also wanted to use each other. The changes in micro-expressions are completely in line with the character's psychology and background. Miss Zhang, have you studied micro-expressions before? In contrast to Mu Si's agitation, Xiangyi appeared very calm. Yes, I know a little about it. It was nothing more than, the more worlds he transmigrated to, the more strange skills he mastered. Perhaps misfortune was also another kind of fortune. She didn't expect that the skills that she thought were useless would come in handy now. Mu Si's eyes lit up. There are two kinds of actors I like the most. One is those who are talented, and the other is those who use their brains to act. I think you have both. Are you confident about winning the Best Supporting Actress Oscar this year? Chapter 968. Everyone was dumbfounded. Wait, she's only done one scene and you think she can win an Oscar already? That's the most prestigious acting award in the world. Xiangyi smiled and said calmly, let nature take its course, it will happen naturally. Mu Si gave her a thumbs up and said, okay, keep it that way. The cameraman interjected, Director, do we need to shoot a second scene? Do we still need to reshoot this? Mu Si answered his own question. No. This is the effect I want. Everyone was speechless. In fact, 1/3 of the filming for martial arts had already been completed. Unfortunately, the previous male lead had gone back to inherit the family fortune and become the king, so they had no choice but to reshoot it. However, the crew knew Mu Si's temper very well. He was a perfectionist who pursued perfection and would not allow even the slightest flaw. He had even filmed dozens of scenes over the course of several days. It was also because of his seriousness that the quality of each of his productions was commendable and the box office sales were also guaranteed. They didn't expect him to approve of two actors so much, passing the scene in one take. In the past, they wouldn't even have dared to think about it. Although there was a confidentiality agreement, there were too many people at the scene and it was inevitable that someone would leak some information. As soon as the scene was completed, a gossip post appeared on the Melon forum. Title: Rumor has it that director Mu Si praised Xiangyi for being able to win an Oscar, shocking my entire family. Content: my best friend's classmate's friend is an extra into martial arts. Today, he got lucky and acted as a pilgrim in a Taoist temple. He even filmed it with Shi Sui and Xiangyi. He said that Xiangyi's acting skills were superb and director Mu praised her to the skies. He even said that she could win an Oscar, shocking my entire family. Melon friends, what do you think of Xiangyi's acting skills? There were all sorts of replies below. Brag, 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 whitewashing posts are here so soon. How long are they going to market her silly and sweet acting skills? Rumor has it, Xiangyi's acting skills in that Xianxia drama were actually very delicate. Being silly and sweet is just a character design, but her acting skills are really good. Yes, I also want to say, where are you going to find a pure, lustful, sweet, and pretty girl like Xiangyi? You guys should at least find someone who can fight like her. A gossip marketing account uploaded the post to Weibo and even attached a screenshot of Xiangyi's dozens of failed takes. In comparison, the contrast was too strong. How could she win an Oscar with such eyesore acting skills? Sorry for insulting the Oscars, right? Right at this moment, Martial Arts posted a short video clip. It was the scene of Xiangyi and Xu Xinglan's duel in the drama. Although it wasn't a full-length film, the video was still well edited. It was only 30 seconds, but whether it was the level of the camera or the smoothness of the martial arts moves, everything was smooth and the rhythm was tight. With the accompaniment of the music, it immediately felt like a blockbuster. As soon as the video was released, the netizens who had just mocked Xiangyi's naive and sweet acting skills began to question her. Are these two people not using stand-ins? Holy sh*t, Xiangyi didn't even use any pressure, but she just stepped on a tree and somersaulted. Oh no, now the foreigners will definitely think that everyone in China knows Kung Fu. Oh my god. The martial arts moves in this set of scenes were superb. It was as if we had returned to the most glorious era of martial arts films. It was filmed with both Chinese characteristics and cinematic artistry. I bet 50 cents that Xiangyi will become a god in this movie. Chapter 969. Pan Yu didn't even watch the Xianxue drama that she was starring in. Instead, she kept scrolling through the gossip about Xiangyi. When she saw that Xiangyi was being mocked by netizens, the corners of her mouth curled up. However, when she saw the video posted on the official Weibo account of the movie Martial Arts, her heart collapsed again. Why? Why can Xiangyi always slap others in the face so easily? Does she really know how to cast witchcraft? Pan Yu refused to believe it. She created a Smurf account and said sarcastically, so what if she's good at acting? At most, she'll become a martial arts star. Real acting skills are not about fighting. Soon, a large group of netizens started criticizing her. If you're so good, why don't you do it? Count for yourself how many martial arts stars there are in the highest-grossing movies in the world. I'm dying of laughter. She's playing a character with super strong martial arts skills. If she doesn't fight, is she going to cry and defeat her opponent with her tears? She's not the female lead in the Xianxue drama that has been broadcast recently. She's useless except for crying. Pan Yu was about to vomit blood. Not only did she fail to humiliate Xiangyi, she even got humiliated by her acting skills. She gritted her teeth and said, Pan Yu's acting skills are way better than Xiangyi's. Then, Pan Yu realized that she had been slapped in the face again. Because it was always done in one take, almost half of Xiangyi's scenes had been filmed in 2 days. Director Mu Si was so satisfied with her performance that he couldn't help but edit it himself. He cut out a beautiful video and posted it. He had never liked to reveal the content of a movie before it was released. But this time was different. He wanted the whole world to know how good Xiangyi's acting skills were. The genius director's casual editing was amazing. After the video was posted, the netizens who heard the news and rushed over curiously clicked on it. The total duration was very short, only 1 minute. However, in this short 1 minute, Mu Si had edited Xiangyi's literary scenes, martial arts scenes, and crying scenes. Xiangyi's acting skills were smart and cunning. Whether she was acting with Shi Sui or the other supporting actors, she was able to keep up with the acting. Needless to say, Xiangyi's martial arts skills were as light as the wind and snow. Occasionally, she would explode with power, causing people to tremble in fear. Xiangyi's crying scene took up the most time and was also the most exciting. In the film, the girl was half kneeling on the ground. Her expression went from blank to sober. Her hands were trembling. She wanted to pick up the sword, but she couldn't lift the blood-stained sword. The girl raised her eyes and looked at the camera. Her deer-like eyes were watery and the corners of her eyes were red. There was hatred, unwillingness, and sadness. The people in front of the screen were subconsciously brought into a sad mood. Did someone betray her? Why did he have to upset such a beautiful little sister? Patter. A teardrop slid down her porcelain cheeks. Her hand, however, firmly grasped her own sword. Even if he were to face a powerful enemy, he would not be afraid. Never retreat. Throughout the entire process, other than the background music, the girl did not speak a single line, nor did she make a single sound. She relied entirely on her micro-expressions and body movements to interpret. Swish, the screen was pitch black. Only the sound of her heartbeat continued. A few seconds later, the electrocardiogram stopped abruptly with a beep sound. Countless people in front of the screen woke up from a dream. Only then did they realize that their faces were covered in tears. Thus, Penyu found that her alternate account had been tagged tens of thousands of times. The comment with the highest number of likes was "Frowny face, come on, grandson, watch your grandaunt's crying scene." Penyu was speechless. Chapter 970. Penyu was caught off guard by how quickly she had been slapped in the face. No way. What kind of probability is this? Is there a 100% chance of getting slapped in the face? Penyu resisted the urge to vomit blood and scrolled through the comments one by one. She thought that she was good at being sarcastic, but compared to the netizens, she was weak. Putting Penyu and Sister E together is really insulting to Sister E. No matter what, Sister E is still very popular. What kind of person is Penyu? She's not even worthy of being trampled on. I'm dying of laughter. What works does Penyu have? Isn't it just that Xianxia drama that was recently aired? She cried more than 10 times in a few episodes, but even that can't beat Sister Yi's crying scene. Penyu rolled her eyes and fainted from anger. A week later, Xiangyi had finished filming all her scenes, and Mu Si held a wrapping ceremony for her and Xu Xinglan. After a week of filming, the entire crew was convinced of Xiangyi's acting skills. She was good at martial arts, crying and fighting, and most importantly, she could cook. From time to time, she would feed everyone pudding and braised duck neck. Before leaving, she even gave the crew a bunch of specialties from Little Rabbit Farm. It was no exaggeration to say that the entire crew really sent her off with tears in their eyes. As for whether it was tears in their eyes or at the corners of their mouths, no one knew. Xiangyi returned to her homebody life. Her daily routine was to grow flowers and vegetables, make all kinds of delicious cat food for Xiao Naofu, and occasionally make some lunch for Shi Sui. On this day, she carried Xiao Naofu and came to deliver food to Shi Sui. The crew had been filming for several days in a row, and everyone was a little dispirited. Shi Sui was in good condition and still had the energy to bully Xiao Naofu. I'm not as cute as Xiao Naofu, and I can't be by Sister Yi's side every day like Xiao Naofu, but Xiao Naofu, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but what should I do? Sister Yi loves me. Why don't I give Xiao Naofu a kiss and make Xiao Naofu love me twice as much, okay? Come Mua, Xiao Naofu's hair stood on end as it turned into a dog. Woof 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 woof. Motherf asterisk cur. Damn green tea. Bastard. Xiangyi shook her head helplessly and complained in a low voice, this man and cat, they think about each other when they don't see each other, but when they see each other, they start to fight. I really can't do anything about them. Director Mu Si is enjoying the homemade soy milk tea she brought. Ha! Is there no room for 2 dogs on the same mountain? Xiangyi coughed. Shi Sui and Xiao Naofu simultaneously cast their gazes at Mu Si, their eyes full of murderous intent. Mu Si immediately changed the topic. Sister E, this milk tea is really dog. Bah, this milk tea is really delicious. Sorry, I grew up overseas, so my Chinese is not good. Xiangyi held back her laughter. If you like it, I'll ask someone to send you another bucket. Mu Si. My Sister E, I am my Sister E. Other people talk about milk tea in cups, but my Sister E talks about milk tea in buckets. By the way, there's actually something I need your help with. Mu Si cleared her throat. In my movie, there are too few emotional scenes. The whole movie feels too tough, so I might lose some viewers who like romantic elements. So. Hee hee. So I want to ask you to come back to the crew and reshoot a few